Evil Squid Comics, episode 10, season 2. Or should I say season 2, episode 10? It doesn't matter.
I think you just need to skip this whole season and go to the next one, considering how this year is going, you know.
Oh, just go to season 3?
There you go.
No,
I'm Scott.
We have to trudge through all the crap first.
Do you? Okay.
And we get together about every couple weeks and talk about all the comic books that we've read, all the shows we watch, all the movies we watched. But there's no new movies. I only read 2 comic books this week.
There's new movies to me.
And there's not a lot of new TV going on either. So it should be a short episode.
Probably so.
But we still get to drink our beer. So we got that going for us.
We got,
just
what is
watching old TV.
Artemis Fowl or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I tried to read that book to one of my kids. It was horrible.
It comes out Friday on Disney+.
Does he make care?
I watched Empire Strikes Back the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, to celebrate the 40th, anniversary
of it? Nice.
type thing. It holds up still pretty decent. You know that?
They say that's the best one.
I can see that in some respects.
Is this an old movie or is it a new movie?
What's that?
The Artemis Fowl.
It's a new movie.
Didn't they make one?
Nope.
No, not that I know of. Now the book has been out for a long time.
There's several books. I know.
Yeah,
I bought
exactly.
it when my kid was little.
I don't think they made a movie of it yet.
No, they signed a deal to make a movie like freaking, I don't know, like hell, it may have been close to 7, 8 years ago or something. But now they're finally getting it.
So it's going straight to Disney?
It was going to go to the theaters, but they changed their mind.
Yeah.
They're just going to put it right in the streaming service.
Gotcha.
Yeah, which is interesting why they chose to do that with Artemis Fowl and not, say, Mulan.
Well, I think Mulan, they're expecting to make a lot more money.
I believe so, too.
I think it's purely a money game. And Artemis Fowl, I'm guessing they didn't have as much invested. They weren't expecting, not as high expectations.
Probably so. Yeah, there's really not much of a big name type of thing going on there. But yeah, I guess the same as with Mulan, though, too. But I don't know.
Well, all those live-action Disney remakes have been making buku money.
Yeah, they have, yeah. They're really decent.
Hell, The Lion King made like $1 billion.
Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yeah, it probably did. It was definitely up there.
I think Beauty and the Beast made like $1.2 billion.
They did a live Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, they did.
Yep, and it made a $1.2 billion.
Emma Watson as Belle. And
how long ago was that?
3 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago. I don't know. Something like that.
I don't remember that.
Really? It's not too bad. The biggest problem with it, though, is the fact that it was just pretty much taking the cartoon and they made it live action. They really didn't change
that. Was like The Lion King, too. I never watched it, but I heard it was pretty much
the Lion
the same.
King, they added a couple of little scenes type things, more for trying to show maybe, I guess, some feminine power type stuff. But
nice.
Yeah, The Lion King suffered, I think, still because of the fact that it was a little bit longer than even the animated, and it just didn't feel like it was really needed.
The only one I saw was Dumbo. That was good.
Dumbo's actually pretty good, and at least it was a detour off the the animated.
Yeah, I don't really remember the animated movie, so
yeah,
I'll take your word for it.
It's good. I actually liked it.
It was kind of dark. I expected it to be a little more funny, but
it's Tim Burton.
It's Tim Burton, so
you expect it to be kind of.
It was what you expected.
Jungle
Was
Book.
it like Elephant Man?
Not quite. That's not Tim Burton, though.
Yeah.
No,
that's
I know.
David Lynch.
I know that's David Lynch. Dumbo, Elephant
Jungle
Man.
Book, though, was really good. I think.
Never saw it.
Yeah.
They did a live-action Jungle Book?
Yeah, they did a live-action Jungle Book. Favreau directed that, so...
I don't have any interest in like pretty much Disney movies in general, and then not even especially not
rehashing
animated.
Yeah, I'm not.
Stuff.
It's like a lot of them are free on Disney Plus, and I just can't get that motivated to even watch them.
Some of them are good. Aladdin, I actually like the Aladdin.
I heard
one.
it was good, but I just don't have any interest.
Kyle Strawn posted something that they're gonna make the Black Cauldron now live action.
They are talking that. Yeah, that is a rumor.
But
what they need to do there is that's actually part of a book series, like 5 books or something like that. I remember reading those when I was younger, and I really enjoyed that book series. And then they kind of effed it up when they did their cartoon because they were trying to jam pack all sorts of stuff in there, and they didn't know how dark they wanted the movie and all this other crap. But yeah, if they could come back and actually, instead of remake, actually take a lot of that and maybe make a series of stuff out of it, it could be pretty good.
So that Black Cauldron movie, okay? Like I read the books when I was a kid too, and they were good. but I think I saw the movie before I read the books.
Okay, I was the
Possibly.
other way around.
But anyway, I was so excited for that movie when it first came out because it's like swords and sorcery, and it's like, I was all into all that kind of stuff. And I remember feeling let down at the movie, at the time. And so, but yet that movie is kind of hard to find, like unless you're going to buy the DVD.
Well, because Disney was forget it.
So over the years, I've kind of built it up into my mind as this holy grail. I want to see it again. And so finally, Disney Plus came out, and it's on there. And I sat down and watched it.
Yeah.
It was like a disappointment all over again. That movie is just, it has so much potential to be awesome. Like it could have been so good. And somehow they just effed it all up. It's just, it's like it's almost there. It's like it just needs a few tweaks here and there, and it could have been awesome. But it's like, it's just not.
Well, they didn't know if they really wanted it to be kind of kid friendly or dark, or they do these weird things.
You can do
Then they
both.
fall into but then they fall into like just the typical stereotype trap, type things of saying, we got to hit these certain beats, which it makes it kind of boring too in its own way. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure because I was the same way. It's like I remember watching this when I was young and not thinking it was the greatest, but I can't remember ever seeing anything again. So I threw it on there and was like, yeah, it's boring.
It's like the movie that Disney tried to forget, and then I don't know. Like I say, it just. That'd be great if they made. That'd be awesome if they made like a 5,
part series
of it, but they won't because I just don't think it has a big enough audience.
Probably not
To invest.
I just remember really enjoying those books when I was younger.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but if you went back and reread them, they'd probably be crap.
They very well might be.
Yes, I did go back. I was trying to read one of them to one of my kids, and they didn't really.
They didn't really hold up. Okay.
Well, they weren't that interested, so I didn't really get through it. But I think they're good. I don't know. I remember really liking the 4th one where Taran goes to find himself and wanders. Taran Wanderer. Or whatever. I thought that was cool.
I watched that old cartoon, the Fire and Ice.
Oh, that holds up okay.
That movie was bad. Other than the art was cool.
The Frazetta art is so cool.
The Frazetta art is cool, but the story
it's
so
very basic.
Boring. I just wanted it to be over.
It's
I just
so
kept watching it and just wanted it to be over and just watching it and wanted it to be over. It was horrible.
Really? But the animation's so cool.
The animation's cool, but
Uncut Gems. I felt the same way about that movie. But it's not animated.
I don't know what that is.
Fire and Ice. So let's break this down a little. Fire and Ice. So I started watching that again. I didn't get through it. I was watching it at the gym.
Right.
It's kind of awkward to watch when other people are watching you because it's animated. So it's cartoony, but that lady is so scantily clad, it almost makes you feel dirty because it's like a cartoon, but it's it's ridiculously. I can't believe our parents let us watch that. It's really gratuitous.
There's not any.
There's no nudity, but I mean, she has the smallest amount of clothing on that you could possibly get away with through that whole movie. And she's all bouncing the whole time, and everything's moving around. But it's Frazetta, and the animation is just really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I like just watching it just for the cool animation.
Well, that's about all you get.
And the Frazetta art direction.
Yeah.
But
it was.
But yeah, the story is pretty stupid.
I was just like, when is this thing going to be over?
I'm sorry you had that experience. Now I want to go and watch it, see if it's really that bad.
Go for it.
But it is telling that I started watching and then didn't finish it. So
right.
Maybe that's a sign.
Yeah, it could be. Very well could be.
But yeah. Well, another one of those I always thought would be cool, but I think I went back and watched it once and it wasn't. Rock and Rule. Remember that one?
Yeah, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
That's another one. It's why are all these weird animated movies from the 80s so obscure and hard to find?
Yeah.
Because the 80s kind of weren't so good when it came to
that's Don Bluth.
Yeah, I know, really but cool a lot of animation is really good.
Well, that is true, because there was some good ones there. Because, when did Secret of NIMH come out? It had to have been the 80s.
Secret NIMH was good. That's one that you can find still, because it holds up.
Because it was good.
Yeah. But a lot of these movies had really good animation. They just missed it on the story area, the writing.
Yeah. Don Bluth was hitting it there pretty well there in the 80s, I guess. Between that and what was an American Tail his and something else he had in that time.
Didn't he do The Great Mouse Detective, or is that not him?
Yeah.
Probably The Great... Well, was that him?
Yeah.
I don't know. 90s had some good ones. We had Iron Giant and Titan AE.
Yeah.
A couple. And Treasure
Although
Planet.
Titan AE was considered a bit of a flop.
Commercially it was a flop, but I thought quality wise, it was good.
Yeah.
Same with like Treasure Planet. Like that's a really good movie, but
it
flopped.
really is. But there again, can you find that one hardly at all?
Well, I own it, but yeah.
But other than
probably
that,
not.
yeah. I mean, it's
Who
like it
owns
went
it?
away.
I guess
and-
Fox owns it, right?
Do they really? It's a Disney film,
You would think it would be on Disney Plus, but I don't think it is.
huh?
Like I said, it's like these movies are good, like these animated ones, or they have some good qualities, and if they flop, it's like they just poof into the air
They do,
or something.
yeah. They
I don't
just
know
want to
why
forget
that
about
is.
it.
What's the other one? Not Fire and Ice, but it was like around the same time, and not Rock and Roll.
Heavy Metal.
No, not that.
I'm just kidding.
But I can't. I was gonna watch
Old
it,
Dogs
and I
Go to
can't
Heaven.
find
There
it.
was this old one called Orion Star Chaser.
Yeah, no, that's not it.
Okay.
Like it's in the vein of Sword and Sorcery,
Oh,
but it's like Fire and Ice. It's
there's
like
one
Wizards.
called Wizards.
Wizards, that's
Yeah.
the one.
Mhm.
I can't.
That was
that's
Bashki.
Bashki.
Yeah.
I can't find that anymore. Well, I think you can rent it, but you
Yeah.
can't watch it.
Yeah, you
for
can't
free.
watch it for free. It's
can't
like
watch
these
it
movies
on
have to
any
be
of the-
cheap. Like, I mean, whoever owns the rights, it's not making any money off of it. You think
I-
they'd sell it to a streaming service?
I was gonna sit down and watch Wizards after I watched Fire and Ice, and then I couldn't.
Couldn't stomach it.
Well, no, I couldn't. I didn't want to pay. For
Wizards is really bad though. Fire and Ice is
Is
way
it?
better than Wizards.
It. Really? Oh, I'll
Yeah.
stay the hell away
Wow.
from that then.
I always wanted to rewatch A Flight of the Dragons. Remember that one?
No.
But like that movie's nowhere either, and it's probably horrible because
How about the animated version of Return of the King or whatever the hell it was?
I liked Return of the King. It's the middle one that was bad.
Did they
the
do
Lord of the
3 of them?
Rings? Because
Well,
The Hobbit was good.
They did
Lord of
the
the Rings
Hobbit.
was bad.
They did Lord of the
and
Rings,
then
and then they
Return
did
of the
Return
King
of the
was
King.
good.
But I don't think that they ever really did Two Towers.
Well, that's because it was all mixed in with Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
So like they made Lord of the Rings, which was supposed to be all of them, and they like ran out of money, so they made like up to Return of the King, and they somehow found the money to make.
Return of the King. Yeah.
But Return of the King was more like the animation of The Hobbit, and then the middle one, Lord of the Rings, was trying to be more like Fire and Ice kind of animation style.
Yeah, it was
More
kinda
that
crap.
photo, what do they call it? Or where they draw
Yeah, the Bashki.
the Bashki where he draws over live action.
Over live action.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Exactly right. Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't watched the original Lord of the Rings for
I don't either.
ever.
When Disney
Yeah.
Plus came out, I want to watch Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Yeah.
It's
Was
like
it
a
on
Disney movie, but it's not on there, is it?
Oh,
I
probably
can't.
just too scary.
Hmm.
I know we watched it when I was like 7 and I was scared out of my mind.
Yeah, I
was like,
know.
why
That's
am
why I
Oh,
going
I
wanted
to
remember
watch
watching
that?
it, but I don't
That's
know
why
that
I wanna
would
rewatch-
say I
that's
was
why I
scared
wanna
out of my
watch
mind.
it.
Well, I'm younger than you, Scott.
I guess it's true, but I actually liked that way back in the day when I watched it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is cool. But I mean, it was thriller, type
Yeah,
thing. I
it's
mean, it was
freaky.
tense, type thing. But
That's
it
what
was
I want to
still-
watch on
That
Disney
movie
Plus.
scarred me. That movie and
I imagine it's probably
Poltergeist
crap.
and The Shining
Oh
are
god,
my, are my
Poltergeist.
scarred childhood.
Jesus. Yeah, that fucking ripping his face off in the damn mirror.
Yeah, that
Ew.
scarred me.
I think I was eating pizza at the
And
time.
then Fortress, for some reason that movie Fortress, that made for cable movie, scarred me.
What? Okay.
It freaked me out.
Eating the chicken with the maggots on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was not good.
It was
Yeah.
the clown. The
Right,
clown is
so
freaky.
We've killed a little bit of time by completely taking a complete segue.
It could be.
Uncut Gems. That's an Adam Sandler movie on Netflix.
Yes.
You haven't seen that or watched it?
No.
It's
Yeah,
good. You would like
You're
it.
not missing much.
We watched it over the weekend. Scott didn't like it.
I don't know.
I enjoyed it. It's a very kind of edgy Adam Sandler like
Edgy,
serious
but
movie.
it's got some type of weird.
It's got weird
bohemian,
music. It's very
artistic
artsy.
thing
It's kind of like an
going through.
auteur kind
Yes.
of thing.
Auteur.
Auteur, yeah.
And honestly,
So I
I
think
think
you
I'm
dig it.
okay with some of that. The bigger problem is the fact that the guy makes awful decisions through this whole movie, and so
And
your
he's very
anxiety-
unlikable.
Yes, and he's unlikable. Your anxiety's just high, and whatever the hell else. And what happens? Yeah, at the end, you wish happened in the first 5 minutes and just get it over with. So it's interesting.
But it's edgy kind of crime, kind of like
I
I think you might dig it.
started watching The Lighthouse.
Oh,
I've
is
heard
that
weird
good?
things about that.
That's by the guy who did The Witch, right?
Yeah.
But isn't
You
that
ever
William
watched The Witch?
Dafoe
I
or
did.
something?
I watched it after we talked about it.
Did you like it? It's good, right?
Ugh. I'm
So
not a fan
good,
of that
right?
one either.
It's such a slow burn. Is what's cool about it.
Lighthouse is just a completely total slow burn.
Yeah.
Is it? What's that leading to? I mean, it leads up to something at the end.
I'm hoping one. I don't know. I'm assuming.
hasn't
How long is it? Is it like hours
I
long?
don't know. It's like a couple hours maybe.
Okay.
I'm assuming one of them probably goes crazy and kills the other one, but I
That's
don't
kind of
know.
what The Witch had. With the Witch.
Well,
Went crazy and kill everybody else.
And kill everybody else. Yes.
No, it's just Willem Dafoe and the new Batman stuck in a
Robert
lighthouse.
Pattinson. Yeah.
Sparkly Batman
Sparkly Batman.
Okay.
stuck in a lighthouse like in the 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s, or
And
whatever.
going crazy.
Yeah, because they're only supposed to be there.
When
for
does
like,
Captain Britain show up though?
Captain Britain? They're only supposed to be there for like 2 weeks or 4 weeks or something, and then they're supposed to
3-hour tour.
Yeah, they're supposed to come and relieve them, and the relief never shows up. So now they're just stuck there for
Years.
probably years.
Nice.
I don't know.
Cool. Well, there you go.
Is that a Amazon Prime or something?
Yeah, it is on Amazon Prime.
Don't think I can convince my wife to watch that.
Yeah, I don't think my wife. Isn't it all black and white too? And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird too because it's like not letterboxed, so it's like you have the black bars on the side of the TV.
It's not letterboxed.
Well, whatever.
It's 4:3?
It's
What?
not. It doesn't take the whole screen up.
Are you
Who the
serious?
fuck does that?
Yeah.
But it was released in the theaters.
No,
How
I
is
know.
it
I'm
not-
just saying. Well,
How is it not letterboxed?
I don't know, dude.
Is there a setting you missed?
Everything else fills the whole screen except this movie.
Except for this
so I don't
movie.
know what to tell you.
That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, okay. So
That's
Maybe
Lighthouse.
Did he
maybe
shoot
I-
it on like video or
Maybe I
something?
did miss the screen. I don't know. Or maybe I did.
Even
miss
the Blair
setting.
Witch Project was shot on film.
I
Come
don't
on.
know, dude.
Blair Witch Project.
Oh
Wow.
God,
That was a pretty bad movie.
It was great at the time.
it was.
It was an interesting experiment at the time.
Yeah,
I don't know
everybody-
that thought
I
it
bought
was
into
great.
it at the time.
Yeah, I bought into it, and I thought. Yeah,
You remember
it
that
a good
was
try.
like? You remember like when that movie came out and it
Mhm.
had all the
Hype.
hype about
Yeah.
it. And,
Oh yeah.
but that was like back in the early like you could download. We would download trailers
Yeah.
on the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I like think back to that. It's like you'd sit there and wait for like whatever 2 or 3 minutes for the
trailer to
I
download.
gotta wait for the whole trailer to
watch
download.
it.
Should we watch it all at once? Otherwise it'll keep buffering and stopping.
Yeah, that's right. You would download the whole thing.
Oh, back in the
Fast
day.
internet is nice.
What was it? The Star Wars trailer. There,
Watch that thing
the
over and over.
Phantom
Phantom
Menace.
Menace, yep.
I remember downloading the whole thing
The
and then
Spider-Man.
watched it 15 times.
Right? And the Spider-Man.
Ooh, look, a double-bladed lightsaber.
What was the movie that everybody went to go see? Because it had the Star Wars trailer in front of it, and then they left.
It was Enemy of the State, wasn't it?
I don't remember. You know what I'm talking about?
I think it was Enemy of the State.
It was like they sold a ton of tickets because people
They
just
just wanna
went
see
to
the
go
trailer.
see the
See the
trailer, and
trailer.
then they all left.
Yeah, I think it was
Uh,
Enemy of the State. I think it had the Star Wars trailer.
Huh.
The 90s.
They were good.
Crazy.
All right, let's see here. Any other things to be aware of movie-wise or anything else? I don't think so.
We got
Any good
hooked
series
on-
to watch?
We got hooked on this show called Alone.
Alone. What is that?
It's basically it's a reality show, and
It's
so
on Netflix?
okay, so
Just answer, say yes or no. It's on Netflix.
season 6 is on Netflix,
Okay.
and that's the one that we started watching was season 6 because it was on Netflix.
Don't
But
they have
now,
one season?
yeah, and it's the 6th one. But you can watch 1, 2, and 3 like on Prime, and then there's like a couple on Hulu or whatever.
Wow.
But anyway,
They're all
the,
getting
that's
into it, huh?
fractured.
the premise is they take 10 people and they drop them like in a remote location, and they have to survive. And the last man standing wins like 500. One man or woman wins like 500 grand. But the 6th
Do
season
you
they
have to
said
kill the other people?
no, you're
like
isolated
Sam.
from them,
Okay.
and you have they give you it's all like handheld like phone cameras.
So
and
it's
stuff.
like you're trying to survive?
yeah,
It's
you
like
have to
real
s-
Survivor.
Yeah,
What
it's
we all
real-
thought Survivor was gonna be.
Right, it's like real survival, and so
And so what? People tap out at some point?
Yes, you can tap out,
Okay.
and then there's in this one it went and they were pulling people because they were
Passing
medically.
out, dying.
Well, no, but they would lost like 25% of
Yeah,
their
yeah,
weight, and
I
like
understand.
their organs were ready to shut down or
Yeah.
whatever. But
People
yeah,
really
you
wanted that
can
$500,000.
you can tap out on your own. Like if you just like okay, I'm done. Like this,
Sounds like a
So
liability
it was like-
waiting to happen.
I think
Right,
Randy
I know.
started watching one of those
But,
little type
so it was
things.
like-
this
last
Rings a
one
bell.
went like it
Don't
went
really have an
77.
airtight like agreement beforehand.
Well, it went like 77 days.
77 days?
Yeah, the winner stayed out there for 77 days.
And somebody stayed out there for 76 days?
Yeah. Well, there
Because
was
they told the guy everybody else is
there
out,
were-
right?
No, see that's what's weird. So like they had 2 people left, and they do med checks, periodic med checks on them just to check up on them. And so they went to the one person, and they did the med check, and they pulled them from the game.
What day was that?
like 76 or 77, whatever, like that
Oh,
day.
okay, cool.
But I was like,
I was
thought
worried
they
like
would
the
just
guy
go,
like
they would
went
just
out
go
a
get
day.
him.
Yeah, I was worried like guy went out day 50 and let this other guy go for 26 more.
Yeah,
days
no,
and
but they
didn't
let
tell
him go for like longer than they probably, like a day or so. Like they let
okay.
him go after everybody else tapped out. But the crazy thing was, so there were 3 people left. It was like day 72, and the one guy, he's in his shelter and he was cooking food. He caught his shelter on fire and couldn't get it put out. And so he's like, it's like midnight, 0 degrees outside, and he just burned everything that he owned. And so like he calls, because they have phones, like satellite phones or whatever, and he calls them and he's like, yeah, I just burned my shelter down. He's like, come get me, I'm tapping out.
Well, like, you won!
Right, and they're like, the lake's frozen, so we can't come get you by boat, and we can't fly the helicopter at night. So we'll be there when it's first light. So this dude's at midnight with no shelter, nothing. Everything's burned. They're like, just try to hold out until we can get there. Then they show up like 8, 9 hours later to like get him. And I'm just like, if I'm dude at that point, I'm just chopping down trees and I'm throwing them on my
No
thing.
shit.
I'm
saying, get the fuck back. I'm not tapping out. You guys took too goddamn
exactly.
long. I'm in this fucking game.
Oh, but yeah, it's kind of crazy, man.
Oh wow.
Because you've got people, because you're totally isolated. Because they drop them like where they can't get to the other person.
Did you guys watch You yet?
No, I don't know what that is.
I watched. That's the one where the guy's like a. I don't know.
Is it a movie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a series
There's
on
2
Netflix,
seasons.
but he's a bit of a stalker type.
Yeah, he's like stalking this girl, and then he like falls in love with her, and they start dating.
We actually have watched both seasons.
Then he decides to lock her in like a cage in the bottom of his bookstore.
Yeah, I'm not much of a fan of it.
Why
I mean, it's
you?
got some good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got some good
Never even
acting, I
heard of it.
suppose, and some
I don't know.
decent writing.
My wife really liked it. It was okay, but my
Huh.
wife really liked it.
Yeah, Brandy, I think.
Well, I
Women
think
like that show because
I think we're stuck
Isabella
on.
really liked it.
I think we're stuck on like 6 seasons of Alone now,
Oh,
and
okay.
we're still in the middle of Justified because we got to like season 4
And
or like halfway through season 4.
Well, we're on Ozark now. We watched Dark. I liked that.
Yeah, you
Wasn't
talked
too bad.
about that. I haven't watched that.
Yeah, Dark's not too bad.
I watched another episode of the G.I. Joe cartoon.
I'm sorry. That is bad animation of the 80s. All right, should we talk about some comics?
Sure.
I only have 2 books.
I just have my continuation of
You got
Why the
2?
Last Man.
I have 2.5.
Sandman.
I didn't see if I read anything digitally. Maybe I read something digitally I can talk about. Oh man, Zach's been reading crap on here.
Uh-oh.
So anyway, I don't think there's anything there. All right, go. You go first, Don, because you have the most.
I have 2.5.
You do, which
All
is.
right.
I have been
half more
trying
than
to
the rest of us.
read Paper Girls, but I'm not
Again?
quite through it.
I like that.
I read X-Men, Kitty Pryde. That's not centered at all.
Well,
That
you didn't
is
center
like-
the book.
The
I know.
best ever is Kitty Pryde and Wolverine.
Oh, dude, it's really pretty. I'm having so much fun.
They
Like,
might be the 2 best characters ever in the
This
X-Men
is a good.
universe.
This is a fun series.
I'm having so much fun reading this stuff. So, like, I'm reading this, and
And it's Chris
Until you got the
Claremont.
Heart of the Atom, I bet.
yeah, I'm trying to plow through that. Actually, it's
sorry.
really not
It's bad.
terrible.
A lot of work,
I want to know where it's going.
but it takes too long to get there.
But anyway,
Yeah,
He
Kid
died
Pride
so
at the
like
end.
this is a 6-issue miniseries. It came out mid 80s.
Wow,
I guess.
that coloring actually makes Al Milgram's artwork look good.
The coloring.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, actually, it's not that bad.
It's not
Milgram's
great.
not that bad.
Milgram's
Uh,
interesting.
He did the intro for this, and he was saying that he really wanted to do it because there's so many darks like blacks and stuff. So
Yeah.
it is there is a lot of I guess you call it.
You should have Al
negative
Milgram come
space
to the
now.
Comic Con.
I should. But anyway, so the interesting part about what I liked was so like halfway through. All right, so the story is
Kitty Pryde and Wolverine.
Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. It was like 6-issue miniseries, so Kitty Pryde is new with the X-Men. She's still the kid of the X-Men. I don't even know if the
She's
new
always the
mutants
kid
are
of the
around.
X-Men.
She
But,
never grows old, does she?
But
She gets a little bit older, but
Right.
it takes like 30 years to gain 2 years. Of
but
age.
she's in Chicago. Her parents are getting a divorce,
Does she
and
still have
so
a pet dragon?
She doesn't have the pet dragon yet.
Yes, she does.
Well, it's not in this.
It's not in this, but she has a pet
Okay.
dragon.
Well, I know that. Well, that's what I was asking. Was it in this?
Lockheed?
Does she still have it?
Yeah, Lockheed was like, you know, two.
Yeah, what,
That was-
79?
Well, she had Lockheed before you even started reading. This came out in the middle after we'd already read for a while.
Okay.
Your timeline.
Because that was Paul Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Parents are getting divorced. She's
Parents
going
are
on a
getting divorced,
vacation
so
with
she's-
Wolverine.
yes. So she is
What happens?
in Chicago.
You remember this very
No,
well.
that's not what happens.
Yeah, she goes on vacation
Wolverine
with
comes
Wolverine.
to save her. She goes by herself.
Mm.
So she's there visiting her dad in Chicago. Her dad's a banker. He's in trouble. So she comes in
84,
to meet him.
85.
Yeah, so she comes in to meet him, and he's having a meeting with these Japanese people. And she's supposed to spend a week with him. And he comes and says, I got to go to Japan because my new business partners or whatever, they want me to meet these people. So just go back home with your mom or whatever, or go back to Westchester. Well, she's worried about him. So she hops on, what do you call it? She hops on a plane, but she sneaks on.
Stowaway?
Stowaway. So she stows away on the plane. I can't think of the word. So
Yeah, it's okay.
she's a stowaway on a plane, and she goes to Japan. She finds her dad. She finds the place where her dad's at, and she walks in on the business meeting, and they're like, get her. And so then she tries to get away, and this guy, Ogun. And I think he might be the guy that's like in the Wolverine.
Where's that music coming from?
I don't know.
Man, you
I
know,
think
that's like
Wolverine
page
has some
26
history
of
with
this
him,
whole
like
thing.
possibly in the Frank Miller Wolverine series.
Yeah.
The Ogun guy might be the guy that Wolverine's fighting, but anyway.
I don't think so. I think he was introduced in this.
Okay. Well, anyway,
That was
Ogun-
Mariko's father.
Ogun captures her, and then the Japanese people are like, well, you can have her. And so then
How's her dad feel about that?
well, he doesn't know because,
She stowed away.
well, yeah. But so then he basically trains her to be a ninja.
Ogun does?
Ogun
Yes,
does, because
Logan does. We're on page
he's-
40 now.
yeah, because he's going to try. I guess
He
he's like
brainwashes her, doesn't he?
kind of. It's weird because I don't know if it. I don't think it's actually, but they show it like he reverts her down to like a little baby, and then he teaches her as a little baby,
And she becomes a ninja.
and she becomes a ninja.
Remember in the 80s when ninjas
then-
were so cool?
I know. But then,
It reminds me, though, kind of like a V for Vendetta type of thing, you know? When it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but
I think that's where Alan Moore got the idea.
But then I think later on in the series they kind of referred to that Ogun is supposed to be immortal, and he was basically training her because then he was going to imprint his soul or his body or whatever on her so that he could live on
forever, because she never grows
forever. But so anyway, so she gets trained by him, and then she must escape. I think she gets away, or he sends her on a mission or something. And then she's trying to get back, and then she calls the mansion. Wolverine answers the phone, but she's in the phase where she's really new, and she's like, I'm the kid. I don't want to talk to Wolverine and ask him for help. Like, I want to take care of it on my own. Like, I don't want to have to rely on them. Like, it's my problem. Well, then Wolverine, I guess, figures out what's going on, so he hops on a plane, and he tracks her down. And then he finds her, and then
And how long does she hold the
Mariko gets
sword?
involved. Right? Yeah, he has to break her training.
I can do this for 10 days.
Yeah, that's part of it. I can't believe you remember that. Well, it's on the cover of one of them, but
Dude, I remember this series.
yeah.
This was the bomb.
Then how am I doing?
Pretty good.
So far,
Okay.
so good. You're on
I don't remember
page
the
around
details.
60 or
I
something.
don't remember the last 3 issues.
But-
I remember the first few issues being kind of slow. And
Yeah.
it gets really good towards the end.
Yeah. But then the cool part is, so like then Wolverine's over there. Well, Professor X calls, and this is like it reminds you of like how tight knit the Marvel universe, how small it was back then.
I know. It's so nice.
I know, it was so nice because it's like Professor X calls Wolverine. He's like, you need to come back right now. He's like, Storm just got hit by a federal agent and she's
Oh,
lost her
agent
powers, and it has a little thing that says X-Men number 185.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember that. And then like he's like, oh yeah, and your buddy James Hudson, the Guardian or whatever, he's dead. Like they killed him, you know, and it's like it's an alpha, so it like puts you like right in that
That era.
That era.
Ooh, look at that.
And it's just so cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that shot. Let me see that.
Yeah.
Show it to
Well,
me.
it's even better.
Like she shoves her sword right through Wolverine.
Yeah, she stabs Wolverine.
Aren't there
Wolverine
bones
might be
in the way
dead.
that are blocking it? I guess she
Nah.
somehow slipped it through all the bones.
Slipped through all the bones. She's a ninja, dude.
She's
That's
a ninja.
right. She knew exactly.
She knows exactly where to put it. Well, there's a better at the end when it's
Does he
the
have adamantium?
when
at
it's
this time?
when it's the final showdown, the confrontation, and it's Ogun, Wolverine, and Kitty Pryde.
He goes into berserk mode.
He does. He goes into berserk mode, which is cool because you don't ever read about Wolverine.
I don't remember Wolverine going berserk.
Yeah, I know.
Except when he killed the Hellfire Club.
Right. You
back
don't
in the
ever
30s.
remember Wolverine going like berserk, but they do. He goes berserk in this, and then
Do you know that Wolverine goes berserk sometimes?
I did not.
He goes into a berserker fury or
Ah,
berserker rage, and he can't. His mind like closes, and he just starts
he
killing.
just becomes.
it's
a regular
basically
Wolverine.
he did the berserk in the
Berserker.
he did make fuck. Did he just say make fuck? um, in the movie with Hugh Jackman, where they do the project whatever, he goes berserk and kills everybody, and then he's out in the what?
With Hugh Jackman. Every Wolverine, every X-Men movie.
Well, I know, but what's the one?
with
Is it
Hugh
Origin?
Jackman.
The one where they did the Barry Windsors?
Hugh Jackman. You know that Wolverine movie with Hugh Jackman?
There's
Oh,
only
you mean every
5 or
Wolverine movie?
6.
Was there another Wolverine movie without Hugh
There's probably
Jackman?
what 7 of them if I really count them out.
You know the one with Hugh Jackman though.
Are you talking about the one with Ryan Reynolds?
I believe
as,
so. The
as
Origins.
The
Deadpool?
Origins.
Origins.
No, the one with Hugh Jackman. Do you remember that Wolverine?
And Ryan
Never
Reynolds
mind.
as Deadpool.
Jesus.
That's only what, like 3 films.
He's
That
actually,
was good.
he's not Deadpool. He's like Weapon
Deadpool.
X or whatever.
No, he's Deadpool.
No, he's Deadpool.
He's Deadpool. All right. He basically goes berserk in that. He
Okay.
uses his
Yes,
berserker powers
he
in
does.
that movie.
Berserker
Excellent.
powers.
Berserker powers. But so then Wolverine gets her.
He howls
He
at the moon. Is that what he does as part of his berserker power?
He has the moon.
Howls
See?
at the
Howls
moon.
at the
Oh,
moon.
howls at the
That's
moon.
before he goes berserk.
That's before. He's
He hasn't gone berserk yet.
Yeah, he's
like
So-
draining the moon for his power.
Maybe for his berserker.
so
power.
Wolverine
That's right.
gets her,
Berserker.
and Wolverine gets her back, and he does the training. There she is holding a sword up.
Yeah.
And
You know how long you can hold?
he
a sword
breaks
up,
the
Scott?
spell, and so then they go after Ogun
You
because
can
they
hold it
have
forever.
they have to break the spell with Ogun, and they have to finish it up and all that stuff. So
Wow.
and then it's all happily ever after.
Of course it is.
Except Wolverine's healing powers don't work as well in this as they do now, like later on.
They do now.
Because she stabs him.
I just remember the '90s. I think his healing factor was like
Wait.
scrambled up for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, I just can't recover. I gotta go from mission to
Oh,
mission.
yeah.
I just can't recover.
But no-
I mean, they carried that on forever.
Yeah, but no, in this it's working. But I mean, she stabs him, and he's like down, like he's not back to full power.
Well, she
like,
did blow his guts out the back
Right.
of him. I mean, that's fairly significant.
yeah, but you know, like in the movies, I mean, the sword would have healed, like his flesh would
I
have
don't
healed
know. I don't
around
know
the
if he lost
sword,
an
like
organ.
instantaneously.
I'm not sure all went out the back. It looked like maybe like a lung went out. I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway,
I don't know.
I wouldn't do that.
it is really good. When you get to the end, when they have the final fight, where
That's the best part.
Kitty
They're fighting
phases.
there.
Imagine if
Kitty
Frank Miller had
phases-
drawn this.
Oh, I know.
Because Al Milgram's okay, but he's more of a, what do you call it, a journeyman.
Yeah,
Right? Like, he's just kind of a workhorse. Like, he gets it done, but
yeah.
he's not exactly inspired.
So that,
She phases through.
yeah, she phases through.
There are a lot of words in that.
There are.
There are. Chris
So
Cole.
I was listening to, or watching / listening to the, and I'm just not done with it, but the kayfabe with Chris Claremont.
Isn't that grueling?
Yeah, dude. Chris.
Well, I love how, like, he just talks. Like, they can't even get a word in
No,
edgewise.
but
He is just word vomit.
oh my god. But the part where he was talking about how like back then,
Back then.
like people like John Byrne could do 2 books a month, and
Yeah.
blah blah blah, and he's like, but that was our job. Like we did that and we got paid. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that was how we fed our families. That was how we paid our mortgage.
Yeah.
It was work. And he was talking about how like, you know, nowadays, you know, back then they weren't drawing a book to sell the artwork. You
Yeah.
know, they were doing it to get it published to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. I mean,
It is.
I've heard stories and stuff from him that I hadn't heard before, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, there were a couple little tidbits.
The one with the Sal and John Buscema.
Which one was that?
So he was talking about the story about how he was in the Marvel office one day, and a delivery guy shows up with like 3 pages from Sal Buscema.
Uh-huh.
And then like 30 minutes later, like another messenger shows up with like 4 pages from
John
the other
Buscema.
Buscema. And then like 30 minutes later, like 5 pages come in from the other one, and it just keeps going on and on and on. And they were like back at home, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna do 4, I'm gonna do 5." And he's like, they just fed off of each other, which is cool. But no, I don't know. I try to.
He's interesting. He did start. I don't know. After a while, his rambling got a little old. But no, he had some good stories and he had some interesting perspectives. He did come across a little bit as like, it was so great back in the day, and now it's all ruined. I mean, he's kind of got that old man complaining thing a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I mean, I remember talking to Greg Smallwood at like one of the cons. He's like, I was like, about like speed and getting stuff done. He's like, well, it would be fine if they didn't require the artwork to be so detailed now.
Right.
Like the expectation is there's so much.
Different.
And so many artists ink themselves now. Like Smallwood doesn't have an inker. I mean, most people don't have an inker.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of artists, they just ink themselves because they want to control it and make sure it's perfect because it has to be so detailed and so much. You know, it's just a lot more is expected. And so the expectation is higher, so it takes more time.
Right.
And so people are like, well, Don Byrne did. Well, one, also a lot of those old X-Men comics, if you go back and read them, they're only like 18 pages. They're not like 22. And so it's like, that makes, 4 pages is a big difference, you know?
Yeah.
And I know John Byrne was fast, but he had Terry Austin over there, like, fixing everything. And,
Right.
So I don't know. There's a few guys that admittedly are fast, like Jack Kirby. That dude just cranks shit out, you know? But, and his stuff was really detailed,
Yeah,
too.
it was really good.
Hell, some of his inkers were erasing stuff because they didn't want to ink it all.
Right.
But
What's that dude? That's the infamous story that
whatever.
Mike something.
I don't think it's Mike, but yeah, I know who you're talking about. I thought it started with like a V or something. But
Yeah, it might have been.
But anyway, Val Staples maybe? I don't know.
No. But yeah, they would talk about how he would just like black over it or erase it because he didn't want to freaking ink it all.
So obviously there are a few exceptions, but in general, I think art today is a lot more, detailed.
Yeah. Well, he also mentioned how like now because he's doing like a story, he's doing a Wolverine story with who's the not LaRocca that he did. Maybe it is LaRocca.
It might be LaRocca. He likes working with that.
Who he did like Extreme X-Men with? Was that LaRocca? Okay.
Yeah, Salvador.
Salvador LaRocca.
Keeps calling him Sal.
But he was talking about how it's different now because like back in the day, he would plot the story, he would send it to the artist, and then he would let the artist create what they wanted to create.
Correct.
And then he could come back and he would do a passover. He's like, now we don't have time because our margins are so small. It's like I write it, I send it off, and then it goes straight to the editor, and then it gets printed. Yeah. So I don't even get a chance to go back over it and like look at it.
I think that was a good method. I wish they could do more of that, where the artist has a little more freedom, because everything's full script now. It seems like
Yeah.
So, oh well.
Who's on here? Alan Grimes is watching, and Kate Shea is watching.
Yeah. Hi guys.
Hello. Hello, peoples.
Do you want me to do one? Like I said, I only have.
Did you read? Have you read all the Copra? The Image series.
All the Image stuff, yeah.
So that's 6 issues. Oh, okay.
Talk about Copra. This was Copra number
6.
6. 56 pages. I was like, 56 pages? What the heck? Because it's $4.99. But then it's like. The main story is like splash pages. He tries
it's
to
all
tell,
splash.
It's splash and it's silent. And that's interesting. It's a cool little battle sequence they do. It's a little hard to follow, so I don't think he completely accomplished his goal. I think it'd be better if I was more familiar with the characters though. Which I'm still kind of getting my feet wet and trying to get my head wrapped around everything. But then the rest of the book, he's got some old indie comic that he published.
Yeah, he said that it was a
Negative Land, a reprint.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but it's kind of artsy, kind of indie, kind of like something you'd find at a Comic-Con from, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
it's not quite fully formed or whatever, but it was cool.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, I know that he's gonna start doing stuff as like limited series, so like I think it's a new '1 with the Okazan saga. But Copra's cool. I'm really warming up to Michelle Fifi's artwork. Like, I mean, it's kind of raw and it's not perfect, but then that's kind of like its charm. And then he has really cool layouts and some of this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really warming up to his artwork, so that's cool. Since I just started with the Image series, I guess there were like, 6 trades before this?
Yeah, but...
Did you buy all of them?
No, I bought the first one, because
Okay.
I didn't want to buy all 6 at the same time, because
Yeah.
they were like, it would have been like $100 or something.
Piece, yeah.
But so I bought the first one from Image, and I read like through half of it. Not because I just got away from it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I really do want to eventually buy them all and sit down and read it, and then read the Image stuff too.
So it definitely feels like when we were a kid and we're like starting, you would start a new series in the middle and you have to catch up or whatever. I'm still catching up and I'm not quite as, I don't know if it's, they don't explain stuff as well as they do. Like Chris Claremont would explain every issue, what every X-Men's power was, right? He doesn't do that, and so it's taken me a little longer to get up to speed. And so even 6 issues in, I barely even know what these characters are. I'm not quite sure what their powers are. I mean, the art is cool. I feel like I like it. It's just, I don't really... I think if I go back and was to read all those at once, it would probably help quite a bit.
Right.
Well, I haven't done that yet. And so, like I said, I like it, I enjoy it, but I know that there's a lot of stuff that I'm not grasping or getting because the method that I've chosen to.
Right. Well, I think even because like I read it, part of it, and then I also listened to an interview that they did on 11 O'Clock Comics with him. Excuse me. And I think even, like, the first issue, like, it just jumps in. Like, you're, like, in the middle of the story.
And that's fine. But
and then they slowly backstory, like, you learn it, later on. But it's not like, page 1 of Youngblood, this is Shaft, and this is blah, and this is blah, and now we're going to go on a mission. Correct. It's kind of like you start in the middle of a movie, and then...
Like New Hope.
You get this, and then you go back. Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm enjoying that, because it kind of feels like a throwback to, like, those Youngblood 90s books.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely, like, an Image.
It's almost like, it is interesting, because it's like, it's a throwback to that stuff, which was cool, but yet it's a little more... I think it's better done. I think he's a better artist than a lot of those. Well, not a better artist, but... You know
it's
what I mean?
A different style.
It's a little nuanced, but... yeah, I really enjoy it. I just...
Oh yeah, I like it too. It's different.
I really dig it, but like I said, I feel like I'm almost just buying it on faith at this point because I'm not quite getting out of it what I think I should. I don't know, reading books monthly is so hard anymore. You know? And it's like my attention span is shorter, and it's like you just get such a small snippet, and I can't really remember what happened last month. Yeah. It's like going back and reading Paper Girls, slight segue. I've been reading it all together.
It's all new to me.
And I read it monthly, and I'm like, when I was reading it monthly, I was mostly just confused most of the time. You know what I mean? I got the big overall stuff, but all the details, and then reading it all together, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, this story is actually very simple, and it kind of makes sense. And I mean, it's not super simple, but I mean, it's not super complex like I thought when I was reading it monthly. And it's a fairly focused, like, smaller story. Like, I mean, I thought it was this grand opus of time travel. I'm like, oh no, it's really just these 4 girls jumping to a few different times, and it kind of all comes together. I mean, it's not as confusing and complicated as I thought it was reading it monthly compared to reading it all in one sitting, or not one sitting, but over a few days as opposed to 3 years.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure this will be similar, so I think I should probably make time to sit down and like reread that first arc before I jump into the second arc. Because I remember enjoying moments, but I don't know that I got the whole story. So, that's cool.
Well, piggybacking off of that,
oh man,
Sandman.
Is it Preludes and Nocturnes?
This one is Dream Country or
Dream Country. I don't even know what this one's about. Oh, it's when they.
This one's just a bunch of little one shots.
Don't they introduce a bunch of the endless in this one?
Not really.
Okay,
no. It's just a bunch of little one shot, and it's probably the shortest of all 10 trades. It's only 4 issues,
Jesus.
Yeah, and
Jesus.
the last thing that takes up
Only 4 issues.
well, what
How
probably
much
takes up a
is
quarter
it?
of it is that
$15?
they
Could have bought these cheaper in single issues.
pretty much. Well, there's a script there at the end. And I think that was back,
Oh,
before people
yeah.
were releasing their scripts, and everything a lot. And so, I mean, that takes up, like I said, probably a quarter of the dang book.
Holy crap, it does.
Yeah. So it's pretty long there. But this one, like I said, it's a series of one-shots to kind of keep setting stuff up. The first one is Calliope or something like that, so where it's like a muse that got captured about around the same time that Dream did. She must have had some relationship with Dream in the past, and they had a falling out. But essentially, she's being used by these writers to help
Like a lot of
them
words.
succeed in the world with excellent books and whatever the hell else. And then Dream finally comes in, steps in, and releases her, and it makes it sound like she had a kid or something like that of theirs or something. I don't know, but that makes it sound like there's some type of backstory there between the two of them.
What are you doing?
I
Flipping?
was trying to figure out what issues it was.
Oh.
But, like,
I
Say
thought
on
it
the
sold it
back?
back, but maybe I'm
It probably
wrong.
I
tells you
didn't
on the
see
back.
it. A lot of times they'll say it in like the
On
fine.
the back cover.
Listen, a lot of times they'll say it in the fine print here, but they like did this weird like Sanskrit or something.
Oh,
here,
they did that. I know. That's weird.
and it does not say on the back that I see. It just has a
carry
couple
on.
quotes.
Okay.
Let me see.
The other one is A Dream of a Thousand Cats, where it's basically like the cats and one of them trying to start a revolution to say, I had a dream, type of thing, where they're they're telling a story where the cats used to rule the world and they were these giants over the humans, and that the humans all came together and they had this one united dream, and then the next day cats were their servants. And so this cat's going around the world trying to get the cats to all dream the same dream and take over the world again. So
I think you just got to the crux of why Neil Gaiman doesn't always quite hit for me. I think he's a cat person.
That
I'm
may
more
be.
of a dog person.
maybe, perhaps.
And so I think we're just not quite.
Ooh, it's Kelly
not connected.
Jones.
Artwork in there, yeah, being like it's a different artist there. It's a little
Can I see
different.
it again?
I liked
Oh.
it better than
Hey,
the
you can look
previous
at something.
guy that you guys that we talked about last time.
Sam Keith?
No.
No,
Keith's
the
still the
Drinkwater
best.
guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Dirk Wazzer.
Or something like that. Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
Dirt. Oh, it's right there.
I know. Dirk Waxer, Dirkazer, Dirk.
I don't remember.
Keith.
But
This is
anyway,
the 9th printing.
yes, it is. There's
You
a
know
lot
how
of
much
printings
money
out
Neil
there.
Gaiman has made from that.
Yeah, a lot. But then after Dream of a Thousand Cats, then you have the one that gets all the accolades, Midsummer Night's Dream, where basically it's the Will Shakespeare one, where they
Hated
basically.
that one.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I hate
for the
Shakespeare.
one where it's supposed to, it got all the accolades and like won tons of awards. It's not one of the better, to me personally, better issues type thing. Partly because
But I went
I'm
through
with
all-
you.
I went
I'm
through
not
all
with.
high school trying to figure out why my English teachers were so obsessed with Shakespeare.
Yeah, I'm not
I
a
still
big
haven't
Shakespeare
figured it
fan.
out.
17. The script is for 17.
Okay.
Okay, which I think is Calliope.
The first one.
Yeah.
Because it's Kelly Jones artwork.
So 17, 18, 19, 20?
17, yeah.
Yeah.
Seasons of Mist. probably
That's what I was
starts
trying to
at
figure out. I was trying to
21.
figure out what the next one Seasons of Mist was.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
That's the next one. That's like 21.
Yes.
So, yeah,
we're
we're-
getting there.
I like that.
But
one.
anyway, exactly. But you got the Midsummer Night's Dream, which I mean, it's okay, but because
So
of
what
the
is
heck
that?
of
Like, I
Shakespeare-
don't remember it at all.
Well, the big idea there is the fact that Dream said, "Hey, Shakespeare, I gave you dreams, of things so that you can write these plays, but you owe me like 2 plays in particular, and one of them is this one in which." It makes it sound like Dream gave him the ideas, on this
For
one in
Midsummer
particular
Night's
even
Dream.
more.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And he wants him to perform in front of the fairies, essentially. And the idea is that the fairies seem to be in like another dimension or something. I don't know where, parallel
Would that
Earth. I don't know
story
what.
be better if you actually knew anything about Midsummer Night's Dream?
Oh, I'm sure it would, because everything that is going on is kind of, I'm sure, excerpts from Midsummer Night's Dream. And I think that's what Midsummer Night's Dream is that a fairy comes and gives, different things going on.
My daughter was
And-
going to put that play on, but then school got canceled.
Well, and the whole idea...
She was Puck.
Ooh, and the whole idea of this one is the fact that, Dream wanted something to live on in the human realm that would be about the true story of the fairies, I guess, in a way. And so he has them perform this play in front of the fairies and things, and they enjoy it, you know, whatever. And Puck, in particular, actually stows away and is still in the human realm. He doesn't go back with all the rest of them and kind of disappears into the world.
I think part of the reason he got accolades was Charles Best did the artwork, and he has this very like illustrative style. Best. And he didn't do a lot of work; he would do these like really small pieces, and so I think the art was a big part of it.
There's some cool artists in this.
I mean, I like his art, but I'm not like goo goo gaga over him.
Right.
But a lot of comic book people are kind of.
When you got Kelly Jones, Charles Best, Colleen Duran, and then this Malcolm Jones guy.
Yeah.
Well, interesting to note that, you know, from Jones or whatever, they talk about that first issue, that the muse there, and that he writes even in that script, you know, that she should be thin, you know, type things and whatever, like maybe a little malnourished, you know, and things. And they said that her initial, or that the initial art for that looked, she was too thin, you know, type things, and actually had the inker go through and kind of thicken her up a little bit, nice. You know, type.
Good job,
type
Kelly
stuff.
Jones.
So,
Pooch on that one.
But yeah, there's some mention of that somewhere. But
cool.
And then the last issue, I think, is Facade or whatever.
Facade.
There you go. Sorry.
Facade.
Yeah, I know my crappy English, you know, type things. But hey, at least I didn't say facade or something. I don't know. But
Fakeade.
Fakeade.
The last issue was called Fakeade.
That's right.
And then there were a bunch of that one Hugh Jackman Wolverine movie that they made.
Right.
The one that Hugh Jackman was
in.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, that one is there again. Maybe my lack of knowledge of the DC universe. It seems like it's about some type of superhero that just wants to die. I have no idea. That seems to. I don't know.
At this point, he's still trying to wrap it into the DC universe. Really is that Metamorpho?
No, it's a chick.
Yeah, it's some type of female, and so she's like she's basically, I don't know what kind of power that she has, but it seems like that it's kind of given her like a albino look or something to this effect.
Urania Blackwell.
There you go.
I don't know what that is.
Some nuclear type of thing, and all she wants to do is die, I think, and so death comes and visits her, and you know, things happen there from that.
Google Urania Blackwell and see if that pops up.
My phone is recording the podcast.
Yes, so it can't really do that.
Sorry, I guess I do that.
But it's like a.
But yeah, it's definitely not one of the stronger stories either. I mean, out of all these, the best one's probably that first one, the Calliope or whatever. But yeah. This, as an overall trade, is probably not one of the stronger
Element
ones.
Girl. That's close.
Element Girl.
The character first appeared in Metamorpho number 10. So I think she's like a female Metamorpho. So yeah, she has like the same costume.
The chick that he was dating or whatever.
I don't know, dude. I don't know my DC that well.
Well, good way to bring out some obscure DC person and then kill her. So.
I'm sure she came back. At some point.
Sure.
Yep, probably. They always come back. But yeah, so that's the Sandman here, Dream Country or whatever. It's, like I said, it's not one of my favorites, but probably have to read it to make sure that things follow on.
Well, it's kind of like a bunch of single issue type stuff.
It really is.
Kind of like how Fables would do that every once in a while.
Yep, it is. And in this case, he just did it like 4 of them in a row or something. I don't know.
Strange. Weird flex.
Now, and it is pretty thin. The next one is, you said what, Season of Mist or whatever. Yeah,
it's got to be like 6 or 7 issues, I think. Season of Mist.
Is it?
Probably so. It's a bit thicker. I know that, but I think it flows pretty well though, from what I remember.
Yeah, I remember liking Seasons.
Yeah, I was thinking Seasons of Mist was one of the better ones.
And really, I think that's when Don started buying in single issues, and I read a few of them.
Could be, yeah.
That was my first exposure.
Well, actually, I bought one.
Well, I know you bought one too, but I don't think I read them because they look stupid.
I honestly think it started picking
Season
up
of Mist
even
was
more.
getting some buzz.
I think it picks up even in general after Season of Mist in general, and in the whole mythology that he wants to create.
So
you say so.
Talk about trade ripoff.
Could be, and maybe it's not as well. That's part of the thing here is that this whole thing may not be as good as what I remember the first time around.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of
Find
other
out.
stories, and things that have come out since then, and things.
So speaking of trade ripoff,
Trade
so
ripoff.
the next one is the Longshot, the miniseries.
Uh-huh.
But in 1989, they did a trade paperback.
Uh-huh.
It was $18
The trade paperback was?
of Longshot in 1989. 6.75-cent issues, with the last one being $1.25.
But trades
Wow.
were new at that point.
$18.
Yeah, but trades were so unique.
They
I'm
were.
pretty sure I saw a Longshot trade for like $7. Are you sure they didn't do one earlier?
Do you see
No,
it?
I see that, but I think there was a different trade that
I
they
don't
did,
know,
like an
maybe.
earlier trade
I have no
press.
idea.
Maybe
Well,
not. I
maybe.
remember tracking these things down. Oh, that's some cool prelims. I have a version
Yeah.
of this, but it's signed by Art Adams.
Do you?
Yep.
Nice.
Well,
How
we'll
about
Called
that?
me, he
Woohoo.
called, I was in line at San Diego. He called me out of line and said, "Hey, is that the new trade? I haven't seen that yet." And he called me and he signed it for me.
The new trade,
Well, yeah.
At that time,
just come out.
the premiere hardcover.
Yeah, he
that
hadn't
just
seen
come
it
out.
yet.
yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I haven't seen one of those."
I
Let
think
me
he
take that
wrote
and
the.
sign
I
it.
think he wrote the. No, Anna Senti did. Wrote
Are you
the.
sure about that?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
wrote
so it's
the.
right on the spot.
No, she wrote the introduction.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she did write the book, but she also wrote the introduction to this hardcover collection. So here's the
It took me
thing.
forever to track these single issues down back
Right.
in the day.
So here's the thing. I don't think I've ever read this.
You haven't?
No, not all of it anyway,
Wow.
because I don't remember any of this.
I think the first issue took me like 6 months to draw.
Well, oh, and the cool part is Will Spertatio inks almost all of that.
Oh wow.
Yes. I'm guessing he didn't have much to do.
Well, I'm
Guessing
assuming.
the pencils were pretty
Holy
effing
crap!
tight.
Look at those freaking panels, though.
I know.
Jesus.
I'm assuming that.
Looks like there's lots of them. There's a lot of words in some of that stuff too. My God, there's
Yeah.
bubbles all over the place.
So I'm a little like.
Is
okay,
it any
so
good? Please don't go frame by frame on this one.
No,
I'm
I
gonna take
won't.
all the rest. Then
it's okay. It's 6 issues. It was a miniseries, but
who is Longshot?
So he's like from Mojo's world.
yes. So
He's like a synthetic made person.
right.
Okay,
But
So
he's very lucky. As long as his motives are pure.
he's very lucky.
See, they didn't get into
Almost
that.
kind of
If his
domino
motives
like.
are not pure, he's not lucky.
They didn't get into that.
Yeah, they did.
No.
That's the whole freaking point of this thing. That's this whole thing shtick.
I don't. I
'Cause
remember
when he-
him
when
being
he's-
lucky, but I don't remember them talking
When he
about if
gets
his
like
motives are
when he
pure.
gets like off track and is like selfish, then everything goes to crap. And then when he decides to do good, then everything goes good.
I don't remember that in this. And I
Did
just
you
read
read it?
And you
did
just
read
read it.
Are you sure?
You
All
really
right,
did
so-
get a point of this, did you?
I think
No.
you missed a major.
Now it all makes total sense. No, so it's basically he's from a world called Mojo, where
Jojo.
Mojo verse, Mojo world, whatever, and the Brewlers. There's 3 classes of people on this planet, universe, whatever, where he comes from. So the big guys they're spineless, so they're like Mojo is the main guy, but they're like little, oh god, I don't know, they're like little slug people that like wheel around in wheelchairs.
So literally spineless.
Yes, they're spineless, and so they've created
Kind of like the Kerrang or something from.
yeah, so like that's it's almost like the Doom, like a
I do
hovering,
remember that thing. Yes.
hovering chair, like in Doom
yeah,
or something.
Yeah.
So that's Mojo.
Uh huh. Yes,
If they
right up
can
in
see
here.
that.
Woo.
But so they're like the head of everything, and they make
Boom, boom, boom.
they make slaves,
And
and so they make these synthetic. They look like humans, but they only have like 4 fingers. There's very slight differences. They have like 4 fingers instead of 5 fingers, and so Longshot. They mind wiped him, and then he was on the run because he was trying to do a rise up revolution and have the slaves take back over. So they caught him, they mind wiped him, and then he was trying to get away again, and something happened, and a gateway opened up, and he came to Earth, and some of the henchmen or whatever that were chasing him, they got in also. So his mind is wiped. He has no memory of who he is or where he comes from, and he's on Earth. and he just kind of stumbles through everything, and like people, like somebody's like, oh, you should get some money, and so he goes and finds work as a stuntman, like for a movie thing, and then he gets hurt, and they think he's dead, so the director's like, I'll drive him to the hospital.
He dumps him.
And rather than drive him to the hospital, just dump him in a lake or whatever, and just kind of push him away. And of course, he gets out of that, and so
the last issue's double sized. So it's almost like 7 issues.
Right. Yeah. Which is great because it was double sized, so a normal issue was $75, but the double sized finale was only $1.25, so you're getting a bargain.
Wow.
It wasn't $1.50.
Did you enjoy it?
$1.25. Yeah, I did, but it didn't really end.
It says right there, it's my motive that's off. And he starts getting hit by the lasers. It literally says, it's my motive.
I don't know. He gets down a lot in the book because he's like, "Oh, woe is me!" Like
He's depressed, huh?
yeah, he gets depressed
Keep the right
a lot.
attitude.
But yeah, it just kind of ends like they go back
matter.
to Mojoverse with Ricochet. I think goes with him, and they go back to, and that's where the book ends. Like they go off to go back to Mojoverse or whatever, and that's just it. So there's two things about this. So it's cool because Anna Cinti is talking about how she was kind of new at the time or whatever, and they'd basically let you publish whatever you wanted. And so, she came up with this idea. But it's, a totally new character. They just came up, you know what I mean? Just came up with this new character. He didn't fit anywhere in the Marvel Universe. So then, when does he come back? And, how does he become a mutant? And how's he an X-Men?
Well, I think there's an X-Men annual, and Art Adams used to always draw the X-Men annuals.
Right.
So at one point, they decided to throw him into the annual, and he just popped through a dimension, and then it ends up being like a Mojo story.
Right.
And then he just hangs out with X-Men from that point forward for, a few years.
So he's not really a mutant, per se.
Well, they're saying, I think they tried to, wordsmith it to where, he was a mutant because he was different from the other clones or some crap. I don't know. Because he has, that power where if he's lucky or whatever.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that's what they tried to do.
I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's kind of like I don't even know what you'd call it, like a fish out of water story, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he's basically wandering. He basically came from this dimension. He's wandering around.
Yes, it's
trying to make his way, and he doesn't really understand how the world works.
He doesn't understand anything.
He's really naive and clueless, and he keeps getting into little adventures. It is kind of a fish out of water.
Right, and then
hit the nail on the head, didn't he?
She-Hulk and Spike, because he breaks into a bank and steals this diamonds because somebody tells him that he needs to get money or whatever, and so he goes. I don't remember how he got involved in it, and then he's he has all these diamonds, and everybody's saying that he's bad. You have to give the money back, so he's going around to apartments. And he's just here's a diamond, all these people giving money back. And so he's kind of made news, and so they do the cameos to bring in people to buy it. So She-Hulk is in it. She-Hulk finds him, and they fight. And then Spider-Man finds him, and Spider-Man fights him. And then they bring Doctor Strange in, which Doctor Strange kind of sort of makes sense because it is kind of magical. So, Doctor Strange is magic, and he's from another dimension, and Spiral.
Yes, Doctor Strange hangs out for a few issues.
Yeah, Doctor Strange really kind of helps him out. Because there's another character that came with him, and he's like a little puppy. They call him Pup. He's really small. But throughout the book, he keeps growing, and he runs into him several times, and he's always bigger. And he's like a magic magnet. So he's been on Earth just absorbing all of this magic. And he just keeps growing from this magic. And he's like, I'm so sick. I have all this magic. And I'm going to throw up or whatever. So it makes sense that they bring Doctor Strange in. Because Strange is,
Strange.
Magic.
Oh.
Magical.
But, he is strange.
He's
but
magically
also
delicious.
But yeah, man, those pages in the back are really good. The sketches, there's a sketch section in the back.
He only has 4 fingers on each hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mentioned that.
We talked about that already.
Freaking awesome. So good. Character designs. And Nacenti is talking in the introduction. She's like, this new kid, Art Adams. This, I think, was his first thing that he ever did.
Oh, yeah.
But she's like, I wrote the script and I sent it away to him, he just came up with like all these cool characters and like it was like the the typical like creative story where the writer comes and sends it away and is like brings it back, and he's like ran with it and so excited, and he's just drawn every like page after page after page of like concepts and stuff. And but now that, like I said, the art's really cool. I remember like obviously I didn't buy it when it came out. I don't even know if I have all of the issues. I have a lot of them, but I don't know if I have all of them. But I don't think I ever sat down and read it because I did not remember.
You weren't really
Any
a
of this
long
stuff.
shot guy. I was more the long shot guy.
But no, it was a cool story. I liked it. The art's really cool.
Excellent.
I was obsessed with Art Adams as a child.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, Art Adams is cool.
He is.
His art's pretty awesome.
It's funny because he went to that phase where he had the super detailed stuff, and then he kind of went to a phase where he tried to streamline his art a little bit. I didn't like it as much, and now he's gotten to the point where he's figured out how to like make it even better. And I just love his new stuff even more. Like he's like he evolved.
Well, I remember
and
like
got
when
really
he did they did that Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and it wasn't quite as detailed or didn't have.
But I
as many
loved
lines.
it. It was great.
I liked it, but I think that was when he was still kind of transitioning. But man, his new stuff is just phenomenal. I just got this today. Did you order
I
this?
ordered it. Yeah.
Ooh,
Rogue
Bunn.
Planet, Cullen Bunn, Andy McDonald.
Yeah.
It's Oni Press. I
I'll wait like 5 months to get the second issue
I
now.
had
Probably.
high hopes.
Well, because of the shutdown, not because Cullen Bunn is slow. It's just the COVID.
So it
The Rona?
starts on. There's like a. It starts with like a scene where this guy is like on this planet and he's like sacrificing a child, and then you cut to this team of like space scavengers, and they're on a ship, and they wake up, they've got a distress signal, and they think there's some stuff to scavenge there. So they go to the planet, Rogue Planet, and they follow it along.
Is
and
that
all
where
sorts-
Rogue lives?
No.
Does she already have the white streak through her hair
And
in this book?
And weird things start happening, and they get like weird monsters. There's like a big trash heap. It looks like a bunch of ships have come here before to try and answer this distress signal that have crashed. So
Or
they
as
start
Scott
to
would
get
say, Ragu planet.
they start to get suspicious.
That's right.
And then like they're like sitting there, and then all of a sudden a huge like lung appears and starts breathing, and they don't know what that is, and it disappears, which is really weird. And then all of a sudden more like it looks like almost
Man, I don't-
intestines with mouths appears.
Man, I wonder.
Kind of looks like David Bowie.
And it like grabs one of the guys and like kills
He
them.
kind of looks like David Bowie.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's a reference.
That's
in there,
okay.
I
I'm
think.
just trying to do a review. You guys
I know.
just keep talking about Longshot. That's cool. I'm not
Well, you were
playing.
going page by page.
I was gonna say this book is right up your alley, dude. There's hardly any words in it. I wonder.
It
I
does
wonder
read
what.
pretty good.
I wonder if
It
Cullen
reads pretty
Bunn.
quick.
I wonder if Cullen Bunn got like a page rate.
No,
for, like, no words.
It's creator owned, so that doesn't work.
Yes.
The art looks pretty good in this one, though.
Yeah, I thought the art wasn't anything to write home about.
Really?
It's competent, but I don't think it like
okay.
blew me away or anything. It just feels like
Really?
it
Wow,
just,
I mean, look at that. That's
it just didn't feel
pretty
unique enough.
sweet.
To be
Right.
like a creator
That's what I was
owned.
kind of concerned about, but
there's just no hook for me. I mean, okay, so it's space people. They land on a planet. There's some kind of weird monster
Oh
entity.
my god! And
It's
there's
space
some type
horror.
of weird
It
freaking
feels-
monsters in the
Yeah.
damn ceiling. It's like alien goo blob. Ah,
I guess I'm waiting for the hook. And
Scott's-
I didn't get the hook in this book. Maybe there is a hook.
Scott's really digging this book, but he didn't shell out the $4 for it.
did
I
not.
That is correct.
I think it needed a hook earlier. If there is a hook.
Damn, look at that.
I'm guessing there's a
That
hook.
is just
but I don't
freaking
know
sweet.
What it is yet? So right now it
Scott
just
really
feels
likes
like
the artwork.
right now it just feels like a regular book, and I feel like Cullen Bunn. Like I love Six Gun, right?
Yeah.
But Brian Hurt is a phenomenal artist. I feel like Cullen Bunn's cranking out so many projects now. He's got to kind of like find artists who maybe aren't quite of the same caliber, just to get people to like do stuff. You know, I mean, I don't remember the last time Cullen Bunn, other than Unearthed, which I love Baltimore. But other than that one, when's the last time Cullen Bunn really collaborated with like a really, really good artist? You know, on a creator-owned book.
I don't know.
I mean, it seems like he's getting guys who are competent, but just nothing, you know, amazing.
Hey, man. He's got to eat.
I know. And
Cullen's got to eat.
I agree, and I think this guy is way better than I could do.
And McDonald's got to eat.
I don't know. It looked
I
pretty
don't-
cool, but
Scott thinks it looks cool. So
Yeah.
maybe
Let me see it.
maybe I
I'll
need
be the
more.
deciding
Like I said,
factor.
it's gonna take a couple issues for me to really be sure. I just feel like so far it's a nice start. I wish there was a little more, but it doesn't matter. 'Cause
I
I've already pre-ordered like the next 20 of them.
Yeah,
I
but
do
I think
admit
they-
I tend to be a bit more
they've probably
forgiving
been
on the
canceled.
sci-fi world though too.
I
You know,
normally
you
am
get-
too.
you
They've
get some
probably
stuff
been
going
canceled
there.
and resolicited.
I normally am pretty forgiving on the sci-fi stuff too, and this is definitely in the sci-fi horror realm, which
Yeah.
I'm not as excited about, but it's still cool.
I could do better than this.
You could not do better than that. But
Wow.
anyway, it's a good start. We'll see where it goes. I'm hopeful it will keep going. He did a good job of introducing the characters and kind of telling what each one's job is on the ship. Like he's a field technician, he's a mechanic, he's the pilot.
All right.
You know,
So this is
don't bend my comic. What the hell are you doing?
This is my question. This does less damage than what he was doing to it. All right, so I have a question.
Sorry.
Okay, what's your question?
So like this panel right here, right?
Yeah.
Where you got the face, and then you got this little, like the cheekbone line.
Cheekbone line.
That does not look like it's inked. Is that put in? Do you
With the
think the
colors?
dude just drew the
Yeah.
face and that was put in with colors because the artist didn't have anything except a face?
Yeah, I think the colors sometimes add stuff like that, which I think is wrong.
I do too. I don't like it.
I don't know why the colors are adding like
Maybe
texture or lines.
this guy is like, hey man, I don't have time because he didn't do it. Well, he did a little bit.
Well, here he kind of did it, and if you look over
Yeah.
here, like her nose is all coloring.
Right. It just irritates the shit out of me when I read books like this and they do that.
Well, that's like the new style. Like I think the colors
I
are
know,
almost
I don't
taking the
like
role
it.
of inker to some degree.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
I don't
and
like
they're
it.
adding like shadow and texture, and I was just like, why?
Yeah.
That's
But it's always like a
not-
different color. It's like you see it sometimes and you're like, are they using a different like pencil when they ink that?
No.
Or
No, I
I
think
think
it's
so.
just the digital
think the
color
colors
thing.
just going in there and adding some lines that weren't there. And did the artist want those lines there? I don't know.
Could be.
yeah, I don't know. I noticed that a lot.
Yeah, I
recently,
see it a
and
lot
it just
more,
irritates crap. I do not like it.
Well, I
Should
think
this be like this?
no,
Don't think so.
It's
no.
not like the greatest art ever, but it's not
It's not
subpar.
bad. It's not like I didn't have an issue with the art at all. I'm just saying like
No, I know what you're saying.
if Cullen Bunn collaborated with like a super amazing artist, like Six Gun, I think. It
So
would really
let me ask
elevate
you
the
a
work.
question. So if if Art Adams drew this book,
It'd be a lot better.
yeah, but would you still feel the same about the story? It wouldn't have a hook.
No,
or-
it would elevate it. That's what I'm saying. The art can elevate a mediocre story and make it that much better. You don't agree? I mean, it will make me get more enjoyment out of it because I'll be like,
Well, yeah.
gone over the artwork. I don't
right,
know that the
because
story
you'll
will
be,
necessarily
but
be-
you're
it'll
not
the
going to be
same story.
interested in the story.
Could be.
I
But I
think
tend to
It's
be.
not gonna
thought
make
the
you
story
more
was interesting.
interested.
I just said
I
that
tend
it's
to
an
be
art
the other
bloom your
direction.
way.
It's not going to make you more interested in a
I
story.
think I tend to be more
I think you
forgiving. of
can.
the
I think a
words
great
if I like
artist
the
can
story.
elevate it and make the story better. That's what Chris Claremont said in that podcast.
No, I understand that.
I'm sure it can happen.
I mean, there's nuances to comic book art that transcend just what's written on the page.
Like when that guy came up to him at the convention with the pen up and said, "What did you do on this?"
Pictures worth 1,000
Who
words.
said that? Oh, yeah.
That story of Chris
Oh,
Claremont.
yeah, about the silent issue or something?
Yeah, it was the 9/11.
Oh, because there weren't any words.
Yeah, it was whoever it was.
What did you do on this?
Who drew
He's
it?
like, I wrote it.
Yeah. So he's got this, it's a pen up, and he's like, I got it back. And he's like, there's nothing to add to this. This is perfect. So he didn't put anything on it. And some guy came up to a convention. He's like, your name's on this. He's like, what did you do?
There's no words.
There's no words on it. It's just art. And
I
he's
looked at the
like,
pictures.
I wrote it. He's like, looked at
What
him
do you mean?
strange. What do you mean?
There's
well,
just art.
I wrote whatever,
I told him what to
1,000
draw.
words. I told him what to draw, and then I got it back, and I didn't need to add out words to it because everything I said was captured perfectly.
Well, and to your point, like if Art Adams had drawn this, okay, so the facial expressions might be better. The action scenes might be more grabbing or attention. You know what I mean? And that
Right.
pulls you into the story, and so that elevates
I understand
the story.
that, but
And so the expressions could be better, and they maybe convey better,
Emotion.
emotion.
but you still don't have the hook.
That's
you-
true.
your
My
story-
complaint about
yours,
the
like,
hook would
there's
not
no
be
hook.
taken. But if it was elevated enough,
And if
maybe
there
I
is a
wouldn't
hook,
care as much.
You're like, this is just middle of the road. Why does it
Yeah.
need to exist?
It has amazing
Blah, blah,
art,
blah.
then it elevates it and makes it worth it. I like pictures.
No, I understand that, but like the main complaint, like of Image
Yeah.
was, oh, these guys can draw, but they can't write. Story's crap, but it looks pretty.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
How'd they do?
It's all right.
They're all millionaires.
They're all
Well, they
millionaires,
were. They may have
But this
squandered all
story
their
is
money by
decent. I mean, it's good.
now. I got you.
I'm just curious where it's
I don't know.
going.
Hey,
Like if-
your wife's watching.
Like, Why the Last Man? I mean, I like Pia Guerre, but she's not exactly amazing.
Right.
I
See,
mean,
now,
if
Art
Cliff
Adams
Chang
had
had drawn
drawn
that,
oh god.
this book would be fucking phenomenal.
Why don't you just have
But
that?
it's not now.
Why don't you just have Dustin
Pretty good.
Nguyen do it?
Dustin Nguyen, why?
Because you love that Descender Ascender crap.
Oh, I like Descender. I don't love the art in that book, though, ironically.
Yeah.
You guys
That's
were
a-
pumping
yeah.
up that the art was great.
The art's okay.
I was like, this art's horrible. And you're like, this was great.
There's some good moments,
Art's
but
growing
like,
on me.
I wouldn't like.
I love this art.
I like the
even
art, but I
more
do like that style.
Every issue I read it,
Like,
it
if
gets
Dustin
better.
Nguyen-
And I think I've already admitted to the fact that if it's a good story, I am more forgiving on the art too.
I agree with Scott. Yeah, like I mean, like Pia Guerre, she's a very competent artist, but I mean, I don't think she blows you away. But the story's so good, and she gets the story across well enough that it works fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean, but Dustin Nguyen, I mean, there's moments in there where it gets better, and I like the art. But if he did his own book without Jeff Lemire with that story, out of story I like, I probably wouldn't read it just because his art alone is not a draw for me.
And you just like to go the opposite way of everything I say because
No, I don't.
dropped that stupid book because the art was terrible.
I don't think it's terrible.
I don't think the art's
And then you're
terrible
like,
at all.
oh, this art's getting better every issue.
It does- it did get
it's
better.
growing on
Like,
me. I
it
really
did
love
grow.
this.
It did
That's
grow on
good.
me.
I always, you're
only
right.
did it just
I
to
always admitted I
irritate
like the art in it. So
But it's not my favorite, I guess I would say. Like, I'm not going out looking for Dustin Nguyen original art or anything.
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
I'm
That'd be
gonna buy
horrible.
some and just have it signed
That'd be
to
horrible.
Don.
I'm just saying
my
that
biggest fan.
the art doesn't, like, grab me like some art does. And so, I mean,
It was
that was more, that book's more about the writing.
it hurt my eyes to look at it.
But it didn't hurt my eyes either. And in some points, as we went on, I did warm up to it a little bit.
Actually, the problem
I
I
did
had,
warm up to it a
the
little
problem I had with it is it's just like it just got more basic and basic and basic.
The art?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It was like it just looked like you threw it together in like 30 seconds.
Driller's a real killer.
It's like,
I don't know what to tell you.
here I go.
Wow.
Send it off to the printer.
Yeah, sorry, man. I mean, not everything's for everybody, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Some Pollock looking stuff.
He needs to
I
get
don't mind Dustin
Pollock.
Nguyen's art.
Pollock, sorry. There's me good. So,
God, why are
Dustin
you
Nguyen-
attacking Paul?
Dustin Nguyen is kind of like Pia Guerre. I don't mind their art, but it's not a selling point for me either.
Right.
Like, it serves the story perfectly fine, but I'm not going to, like, seek out just art.
Like that weird. What was that dude that took over on Fantastic Four? Leonard Kirk.
Like, even Andy McDonald, like, I would not seek out his art, but it's competent for the story. It just doesn't, like,
I remember Leonard
But
Kirk.
Michel Fifi, like, I like his stuff. Like, when I look at, like, that panel, I'm like, that is badass. I love that. Like, it gives me, like, a visceral feeling, you know? It's like, that's cool. Like, I dig it. Like, where she's, like, bashing that dude in the head. That is cool. You know, I like that.
that is nice.
Right.
So, I mean, sometimes art can elevate.
Maybe Cullen Bunn should do a book with Michelle Fifi.
I think Michel
There you
Fifi
go.
does his own stuff.
He does.
And I don't think what the stories they want to tell are the same.
It might.
Michel Fifi's doing, like, a 90s superhero type
Maybe he
thing.
wants to do
And
a.
Cullen Bunn does, like, space horror.
Maybe he wants to do an
body
alien.
horror.
Maybe Michelle
other
Fifi
horror-
wants to
Western
do an alien
He
horror.
likes a lot
ripoff.
of horror, doesn't he?
He's really a horror
He
guy.
kind of in that, yeah.
It's for his creator-owned stuff. That's really his niche.
He's, yeah.
All right, we're waiting for Scott to talk
Scott's
about
gonna do Why the Last Man.
why the last.
I did
Man.
not start
I
reading these. Sorry,
Totally forgot what the hell was happening.
but he's underwater. Houdini.
Safe word.
Yeah, safe word.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. Well, they're all good. This one, basically, they're continuing their travels. Our Last Man, 355, and Dr. Man, or whatever. They're continuing their travels from the East Coast to the West Coast. And in this particular one, the monkey's sick or something like this, I think.
The monkey got sick.
And so they have to go
try to break
They
in
should have
and
called
get
it
some
Outbreak.
Yeah, basically they're trying to go get some medicine for this monkey. So Dr. Mann and 355 decided they're going to go get the medicine and they're going to leave Yorick behind with one of 355's old war buddies or whatever you want to say, Culper Ring.
Yeah.
So anyway, they drop him off, and this woman seems to be into some strange, dominatrix type stuff and whatever else, and is putting him through hell, gave him some drugs and things like that. But basically, at the end of it, he comes to some type of enlightenment where he's like, I don't really want to die, type thing. And I want to live and complete this mission and whatever, And that was what this girl's whole goal was at the very beginning, was to get him away from his whole suicide ideas that he was through, type stuff, where not so much that he wanted to commit suicide, but he was always putting himself in danger. And it's not so much to make him, stand back and not throw himself in danger all the time, but it's more to be more conscious of it and trying to be more beneficial rather than just going headstrong into whatever, not caring about himself. So that's really probably half the book. And then when they get back, the group all gets back together. They go to like Arizona or something like that, and they have like a run-in with a militia there full of women. And here again,
I remember that part.
Yeah, and it's another one of those things in which they meet another female who's very nice, mechanic that takes them in, shows them stuff, and things, and helping them out. Dr. Mann thinks that she's got this great idea that she'll be able to talk to the militia and get her way through because they've blocked off the highway, which is like the one main interstate that can save them days, going to California and things. And so she's going to try to do that. Well, this whole militia thinks that she's a spy for the government and all this crap and beat the crap out of her. So 350 has to go save her. And when she does to do that, a member of the militia comes out to check out the place where the mechanic lives. And of course, freaking death and guns and all this other crap happen. And it's just, every female that tries to be nice to them, it seems like, well, in this case, he's the last man. So everybody that tries to be nice to them, also happens to be female, freaking dies, in a lot of ways throughout this book, This girl's not the first one. They had the girl from the prison city, type stuff.
The way the apocalypse goes, Scott's nice girls finish last.
It does appear that way, so... Throughout a reoccurring theme throughout this, I guess, in a way.
Don't be kind to others. They'll just get killed.
They'll just get killed. That's right.
Exactly.
You'll just get killed for harboring, fugitives or whatever else. It's still really good though, and this freaking this whole book just flies. Through. Yeah, it does.
I was gonna try and catch up with you, but I didn't get there.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't take you very long.
I
I mean,
know,
I don't
I
even
think
think that there's a whole lot of words actually
No.
in this one. I mean, it's pretty
It's just
sparse,
like
and it's just.
It's
A lot
just
of
pictures.
I
think it
don't know.
feels well, I think it's so well written that it feels like it goes.
Maybe that's it. I don't
Oh,
know.
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. Yeah, there's some interesting, imagery in this one.
Imagery.
Imagery.
Safe word. What is a safe word?
Putin.
There you go.
Putin is a safe word?
Why?
Is that it? That's why?
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 Why is it the same word?
I don't
There you go.
All right, we got one left.
It's good though.
Two?
I'm digging this.
I only read about half of this.
Doesn't get
So
better.
here's his half.
It doesn't get better.
Heart of the atom.
Hulk, Heart of the Atom. I will say, I really dig the Sal Buscema.
I know. Salvation is awesome.
I love Sal Buscema, but I've never really read any Sal Buscema Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to.
Why?
Because I just love the way Sal Buscema's artwork is, and it really translates to the
Well,
Hulk.
with the Hulk.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So I read this collects, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 issues maybe.
Yeah.
It's basically the Jarella saga. So it starts out, and there's this character called Cyclops, which I guess they get away with it because they spell it
Scott
with
Summers?
P. No, they spell it with a P, like PSYKLOPS. So
What the hell?
that's how they get away. I don't know.
You got me totally confused.
Right. So there's it doesn't matter. I don't even know who this dude is. But anyway, he has the Hulk, and they somehow the Hulk gets shrunk down, and he goes into this subatomic world.
Oh my God, this
Yeah.
gets dumber by the second.
Right, I know.
There's
So he
things-
goes down into this subatomic world,
Subatomic world,
And-
Scott. It makes perfect
Honey, I
sense.
Shrunk the Kids.
and it's like a barbarian type of like magic and sorcery type of world, and everybody's green there, just like the Hulk.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that this jumps around, though.
Yeah.
Notice that? Like 140, 148. We didn't want to put 155 in here, so we're just going to summarize
Right,
it here.
I know. And then we
And
go to
we'll do
156. Yeah, but so the very first story was actually written. It was
Harlan
written
Ellison.
by Harlan Ellison, and then I guess they just milked the crap out of this for the next 10 years. This saga. So he goes to this world, and there's some civil war or whatever going on, and it's almost like Aladdin in effect, where so Jarella is like the princess, and there's like her I don't even think it's her brother. It's not her brother because he wants to marry her at some point. But anyway, he's like the evil Jafar trying to take over the kingdom.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah, and so the Hulk shows up and he wins her
He
heart.
smashes.
He smashes, but when he's there, he has the Hulk's body, but he has Bruce Banner's mind, so he can think right.
Professor Hulk.
Yes, Professor Hulk, and so she kind of takes him. They become an item. They're gonna get married,
Oh, of course.
and fix everything in the kingdom. Blah 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 blah.
Heck yeah.
Well, the ray or whatever that he got hit with, like at that point, reactivates and he grows and disappears. So he grows
Sandman.
back to the world.
That's so close to happening.
He comes back to the world, and then the rest of
And
it
it's
is
dumb as dirt again.
so that's like the setup. And so then the rest of it is just some crazy way that they can reintroduce Jarella into our world or him back into that world. And so it's supposed to be like this, like this saga, I guess, with him and her. Because at one point I read, it was like the Hulk's back on Earth, obviously. Jarella comes to Earth. He's dating Betty Brant. And then Jarella comes back and he's like, oh, I think I love her. And so, like, he dumps Betty Brant. Betty Brant actually gets married to, like, some other guy at some point. Because this thing, like Drew said, it does kind of jump around. So, like,
I am so confused.
the first issue was, like, 140. And then you go to, like, 148. And then you're, like, at 156. So this thing ran over years and years and years where they would just come back
They
to
just come back.
Well, they would
Hey,
come back
have we
to the
talked
idea.
about
Jarella yet?
yeah,
Um,
Bruce's love from that little bitty micro planet he went to, or whatever?
Right.
I'm not
I love
still
how
not
the
really sure.
issues are only like 17 pages and they feel like 50.
Right. This one is pretty bad. There's a lot of words in this one.
It's not so much the words,
And I
it's just
haven't
they don't
really-
say anything.
Yeah, and I haven't really. Well, they do, but it's like you said now. Like like nowadays, it's like Hulk jumps into a car and drives off to the sunset to
It's like,
go
I just saw
to
that in the
16th
picture. Why are you telling me?
and Elm to rescue the
care.
damsel in distress.
And then you
Meanwhile-
see a picture of him jumping and
Right,
into the car.
into
It's
the
like,
car
you
and
don't have to tell
driving
me what
away.
your pictures are showing me. I can figure it out.
But now this is stuff that I haven't read, and I don't know. It's kind of it. I never even knew like there was a Jarella saga. Like I'm not a huge Hulk fan, so like I don't know who that character is, but it's interesting. It's all part of the Marvel history.
It is.
Funny how she never really came back much.
Well, I think she dies in this.
Yeah, that
What?
fucking matters.
Well, that is true. It is Marvel. I don't know.
Right. So
DC's
anyway,
probably though just as
Heart of
bad
the
as
Atom.
it is.
halfway through.
Let's talk about the big news, the comic book news this week.
Comics are coming back.
No, they've been back.
Oh, about how DC
Yeah, so
shafted
DC
preview
completely
Diamond,
abandoned Diamond, and they're going with these other two distributors.
the ones that they
What the
set
heck?
up.
Is there some type of weird
It's like a distributor war.
Yeah, is there something though where they're
Oh my
trying
God.
to like
So I was,
slander DC and stuff too, or something? I mean, it's like
No, I don't
down
think
with
so.
DC or something.
Well,
Yes,
it's because
because-
people are mad because now a comic book store has to order from 2 different companies to get their books because DC's only going through these other companies, not Diamond, and everybody else is going through Diamond. So I have to make
Okay.
as a comic book store, I have to order two different
from two different
suppliers.
suppliers.
To get my comic books, where I used to only have to do one.
and now they have to.
But my question was, everybody's complaining
Interim.
about the extra shipping, but if you're getting 2 boxes of comics from Diamond,
Yes,
DC
I
comics,
thought of that too.
right?
You're
Because
not-
we've been retailers.
You're paying the same amount
Yeah.
of money.
I mean, granted, there might be some mixing of DC with other publishers.
Right.
But we've seen how inefficient Diamond is with shipping.
Yes.
You're not going to be saving that much money. It might be. I mean, Diamond may get a better discount on shipping, and so maybe you're paying a little bit more.
Right.
But
But
it's
I
not
wonder.
significant.
I wonder too, though. Part of it might be because I keep hearing about how Diamond or DC is just looking out for they're getting a bigger piece of the puzzle. So are they getting like if they were going through Diamond? Are they using the same discount tiers that they
They
used
said
at
that everybody
Diamond?
gets the same discount tiers. Yeah.
So it is the same discount tiers. So
Yeah.
they're not okay. But I
Yeah.
did. So
Because
I was.
everybody told the retailers, like, well, you're going to get the same discounts you're getting with Diamond. Like, if you're going to grandfathered in, you get
Yeah.
the same thing.
I don't know. It's kind of like
It's going to be a pain for a store because you have to order from 2 different places.
Right,
I mean,
and
to some
now-
degree.
right, and now your DC is going to ship books on Tuesday, so you're going to have new comic
We
books.
could sell them on Tuesday.
Right.
I think I'd just sell them on Wednesday, though. Maybe sell them on Tuesday. I don't know. I guess you could.
But
just-
I did. So I was on Facebook today, and Wizards Asylum did an unpacking because they
Uh-huh.
got there first, and it was from Lunar,
Yeah.
and it was like they opened up the box and like, ooh, bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And then did you watch it?
No.
And then they're like, oh, there's another box inside the box. And so, like, they pull out another box, and then they open that box, and there's more bubble wrap. And then there's, like, a divider in the middle. They're like, holy crap. Like,
So
this is
they're shipping
amazing.
well.
Yeah. Well,
But
I
they
mean,
got to kind of establish themselves their
Lunar
own way,
DCBS has always done an amazing job with shipping. I mean,
but have they?
but they didn't do, like, with when I get my books, like,
Yeah.
they're shrink wrapped, they're rubber band,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
plastic. They weren't that. They were loose in the box.
Yeah.
But they had a cardboard divider in there,
Yeah.
so you had like half of them here, then a divider, and then half of them here. I mean, it was packed really well.
Yeah.
But it, when I get mine are a little bit different, and I don't
Yeah.
know if maybe they're going to go to that or if they're going to go away from like what I get. Or
No, I think it's just different
yeah,
customers. I mean, I don't know how they get the books from DC's printers, but I'm guessing they're in piles, so they just move the piles.
right,
Whereas yours, they have to pull everything separately.
yeah.
So-
Well, and that's what they do. Because I get monthly, so I mean,
Yeah,
they'll pull a week and then they'll wrap it,
yeah.
and then
I
they'll
think it's
pull the
just a
second
difference.
week and then they'll wrap it.
Yeah.
But no, I was reading a little bit. I didn't get all the way through it. It was like I think it was on Bleeding Cool, but it was Chuck Krasinski or
Yeah,
whatever.
the Mile High Comics guy was mad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I understand the retailers are concerned because you're splitting. Diamond just lost a bunch of profit, basically.
Well, yeah, he was saying that Diamond basically lost $100 million a year from
Well,
DC.
I don't know what Diamond does, but I mean, they do. I mean, DC's probably 30%.
That's what I'm
of
thinking.
their-
DC maybe 30 to
of their-
40% of
$100 million? That's a
Yeah.
shit ton of money. And it's
Well,
like
yeah, because they
Diamond.
ship if it's 30%, they ship $500 million a year. I mean, that's $150 million of
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean,
To think that they're running on a level like I don't know. It was insane. But yeah, that he was saying Diamond said that they'll make that up.
Diamond's like,
What you gonna make up $100 million a year?
With
What the fuck? Right? Oh, we'll
Diamond's
be fine.
gonna have it's called layoffs,
layoffs, and they'll
synergies,
make their shipping more efficient.
right?
And I think
They'll just
and I
slap
get
a
it.
label on a comic
Like,
and send it out instead
if
of
I
putting
was
it in
a-
a box.
If I was a comic book retailer, I would be a little burnt ass too. That now I have to order my comic books from from a different store.
Well, that's what I was.
a
Well,
competition, and
yeah.
it's like, well, what kind of deals are they getting with Diamond? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Or I mean, from DC. Like, what kind of deals are they getting from DC?
well, yeah,
to
since
be like
the
distributor?
parent company kind of owns DCBS and Lunar,
See,
it's like,
and I didn't.
how does that work exactly?
But he also like he made a reference to the way I read it is that Midtown and DCBS are owned by the same?
No. There's two distributors.
Right. There's Lunar, which is DCBS.
And UCS, which is Midtown.
Right, whatever the other one is.
They're not owned by the same company.
Okay. That was the way I read it.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
But
you
that
read it
would...
wrong or he said it wrong.
That would kind of... I probably read it wrong. But that would kind of burn my ass if I'm like Prairie Dog Comics or Wizards or whatever.
Yeah, I can see that. But really, they're not really in competition because there are... if you're willing to pre-order your comics and get them mail-ordered, I mean, there's really no competition between Prairie Dog or Wizards Asylum and DCBS. Like, if you're in there for the discount, there's no...
Right.
I mean, people who want the discount and want to pre-order, mail order are already doing it. Comic book stores are not competing with that. They're two different businesses in a way.
It's just it's the same old thing on the internet. It's like, oh, woe is me, the world's gonna end, no new comics, it's all going digital, or it's like one total extreme that the industry's dead, or it's like this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and you know what I mean? There's like no middle ground.
We were retailers for a while, and Diamond's horrible.
Oh yeah,
and DCBS is a great company to get product from, and it's like, because we were getting stuff from DCBS, and we got stuff from Diamond. It was horrible. It's like, man, couldn't we just have DCBS be our distributor because they're so much better? And now, like, in a way, it'd be cool if DCBS gets, or if Lunar gets more companies to come over, because it'd be nice. I hate Diamond. I mean, I know people are like, oh, Diamond's not... Now that Diamond's being threatened, everybody's like, Diamond's not that bad. It's like, well, when Diamond was the only game in town, all you did was bitch about them.
Right.
Now that they're being threatened, you're like, oh, they're not that bad.
There's some competition.
Well, and the other thing, too, is like, what I don't get is, so Diamond is the only game in town. So what is this? Why did DC have a contract with them if they're the only game in town? Like,
well, they had to sign. Well, I mean, Diamond made a lot of publishers. Or publishers decided to sign like exclusive contracts with Diamond and saying that they're going to distribute all their stuff through Diamond.
I guess.
And that contract finally, like they did, like 3 years or 5 years, and it ran out, and they had the option to do that, and so their contract ran out, and they were renegotiating. And DC said, I don't know what DC's strategy is, to be honest, because I don't really see one, but they did.
It's just cut costs as much as possible, probably.
I think DC isn't that interested in the direct market anymore, anyway.
You don't think so?
No, I'm surprised Marvel still is, to be honest.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's like you hit all those points. I mean, like Claremont, like we keep going back to that because I just listened to it, but like Claremont hit that point with like, the newsstand was like the big game. I mean, you have people wander into whatever, like Target or Walmart or the supermarket or Quick Trip or Quick Shop, a convenience store, 7-Eleven, and you have comics on the rack, and somebody walks up and they're like, oh, what's this? They're like, open it up, and they're like, oh, this is cool. I want some more of this. Let's go get some more of this. So where's a comic book store? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it can happen. And so, I mean...
That's how it happened with us.
Right, exactly. And so then, I mean, and then also the other point where he was like saying about, I know I lost my train of thought, but like that direct market, and then also, whatever. I don't remember.
Yeah, I was just making the point that, I mean, the direct market, comic books are such a small sliver of Marvel and DC's conglomerate businesses.
And that's what he's saying too. It's like now that they don't even care about the comics. It's like all we're doing is creating IP for them to go out and make $1 billion on a freaking movie.
So I don't know why Marvel and DC, just from a financial standpoint, just don't go completely digital. It's like people who want that, and I know you got the hardcore collectors who will still buy it. So I guess there's a little bit of money there. But I think I used to own Marvel stock, and they'd send you like the quarter every year. They'd send you the book with like the profits. Publishing always seemed like it broke even. Like they spent about as much as they made.
Right.
They would pay the creators and pay the books, and they would make about what. They spend about what they made on the publishing side, but on the merchandising, on the movies, all that stuff, they make all the money, and it's
a lot.
It's an IP farm, and it doesn't cost them anything. It's breaking even, right? And so everybody's happy.
It's like you said. It's like a loss leader.
It doesn't really loss. It just breaks even, but
it's a break-even leader. Whatever.
It
creates all this IP. Plus,
to make a whole hell of a lot more money.
They have a company, people have jobs, people get paid, it's something to do.
Yeah.
And I think,
it gets all these people creating stuff.
As long as they're not losing money.
It keeps bringing the stories in.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's probably worth it. I mean, if If
It is, but I mean,
if with COVID, I don't know.
but
I'd
I
have
don't know why they couldn't just go digital and do the same thing and not have to mess with distribution and
Right.
know all that stuff. They've already
Well, I
got
mean,
the infrastructure.
I don't know.
I don't know why
That
they
would be
care
rough. So
about
like
print.
if like this COVID thing happened and like Diamond shut down, they stopped making comics and they said, okay, these are the last books anybody printed, like
Yeah.
Marvel / DC. They're like, if you want to read comics, it's all digital now. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that.
You wouldn't keep reading comic books.
Well, I mean, it depends. If I had to pay per single issue, there's no way in hell that I would buy digital. But if they had like, okay, we're going to come out with this Marvel app where you pay $20 a month and you can read all the new books, or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
or $20 a month and you can read
And
all
you'll
the
have
DC
that.
titles,
Yeah.
you have access to them, then maybe. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just not a digital guy. I mean, I like.
understand.
It's fun because for me it is collecting. It's like having it
no,
in my
it's fine.
hand.
I'm
It's
not-
flipping the
Yeah,
pages.
I see that.
You know,
a tactile thing. You
but-
know, it's-
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I
I
don't
read
know.
a book digitally, like a novel. I'll read it digitally, and I'll read it like in print. I enjoy the print more. Like,
Yeah.
I like that tactile feel. I like flipping
So,
pages.
I don't
It's
know.
not the same experience, but I mean, the story's the same. I mean, but it is slightly different. I mean,
Yeah, I guess you'd get used to it, but I don't know. Everybody's making this big deal about it. I mean, I don't really. I guess
I'm just
I don't,
saying, since Marvel and DC
I
are
don't
such
see
huge
how it is such a big
conglomerates,
deal.
and they're not that, and there's not that. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what the big deal is.
I mean, other than
It's a slight it's an inconvenience.
it's an
more work,
inconvenience, and I understand that because now
but it's
they're
not the
saying
end of
like
the world unless Diamond goes under.
right because
I just
well,
think it's funny since you get your stuff from DCBS, since Diamond supplies them with product other than DC, and they'll be like, "Well, you guys are our competition. We're not going to give you product anymore," and they just cut them off.
yeah, but
That'd be funny.
they can't afford to because DCBS has got to be one of their
Well, Diamond, they're one of their huge, and same with Midtown. They're their two biggest.
yeah
probably,
they're
accounts.
two biggest accounts. I don't think they
But
could afford to
They
do
probably
it.
can't, but Diamond's not the smartest company.
Well, that's
they
true
might just
also.
cut their nose off to spite their face, type of thing.
Right.
I think so.
No, but it'd be funny if they did, because then Don wouldn't be able to get anything but
Well,
DC.
I mean, you've seen what's happened in the world in the last 3 months. I mean,
What's been happening?
did you imagine that at some point, you wouldn't have NBA or,
No.
go to school or, any of the shit that's happened with COVID? Like, it's all, I can't believe this
It's a
shit's
house of
happened.
cards,
You know what I
man.
mean? It's like, I can't
That's
believe
true.
it. And then,
It shows how fragile our economy
Well, I never
is.
thought that we'd have like no movies for 3 months.
right. No, I'm
Yeah,
not saying
very
like
true.
economy. Well, I'm just saying like, I don't know.
Stuff stopped.
Yeah, stuff just
Yeah,
stopped
I
that
hear you.
you never thought would ever stop. Like,
Yeah, I hear you.
No, that is true.
I mean, I was following COVID, and then they came on and said, "Hey, the NBA is going to stop playing basketball," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is real. Like, this is serious now." And not that it wasn't serious before, but it's like that's never happened.
Well,
That's
it's funny. It was like a
and
week
it's
before.
like-
LeBron's like, I wouldn't play in an arena without fans. That's stupid. And then like a week later, he's like, oh, I didn't know they were serious.
Right. And then it's like baseball, no baseball, and
Yeah.
school.
No, it's crazy.
like school
School's
shut down.
canceled.
School's canceled. I'm like, it was just
March
like
Madness is done.
right. It's like one hit right after the other. I'm like, holy crap, this
Yeah,
is
it's
Yeah.
insane.
like it's insane.
I really didn't know
I mean-
if we were gonna ever have comic books again.
It's not insane. I mean, it is, but
And
it's
we
just
still may not.
so different. Oh, that's the other thing. Like you were talking about, like I'm gonna miss issues or whatever. That's like so. I was
You just
I
got
got the
doubles
new-
of everything.
well, no, I got the new previews.
Because you gotta order it twice.
Well, I got the new
Yeah,
previews,
it's
and
shit
I'm
that I already
flipping through
ordered.
it. No, it's next. Like,
Yeah.
so, like, I get cancellations from DCBS, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, we canceled Savage Dragon 149, we canceled Savage Dragon 150, it'll be resolicited. It's like 152 is like what is solicited in the new previews.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't been on the website. I've just looked through the previews and I
Yeah.
see what they send me. So I don't know. Am I going to be ordering 4 months of comics like in 1 month? Like,
I don't know. I was
Because
going
if
through a
there-
lot of my
and
old
then-
orders, and I was like ordering stuff that I had previously ordered.
and then the other thing was like, there were a lot of trade solicited, like Bang.
Yeah.
I only got one issue of Bang,
There's a trade coming.
and now there's already a trade coming out. Am I going to get the other 4 issues, or do I have to buy the
well,
trade?
well,
You know what I mean?
yes,
Like,
yeah. I hear you.
I don't know. It's strange. I guess I
Gotta
just
have
need
faith.
to.
It'll
I
all
need to
shake
go
out.
on the website and see
Yeah.
what they actually have offered because it's like we missed 3 months.
Yeah.
I just want my Batman 92
That's
since
never
everybody's
coming out.
losing their shit about it, huh?
It's never coming out.
No, they had them.
I'm just kidding.
They had them Wizards, and it was listed on my next.
Is that
ship.
Sucker Punch? Is that it?
It's not Sucker. It's something like that, but it's not Sucker Punch. It's like
Punch,
I don't-
Punch Drunk?
Punch. Maybe it's just Punch.
No, it's something.
But I mean, and I don't even care. I just wanna have it.
Want it.
I want it. 'Cause it's supposed to be worthwhile. Everybody wants it. It's like that. Some people are like, some dude was on Facebook or on Bleeding Cool or whatever, and he's like a retailer, has a store or whatever. DC sucks. I'm having a sale. Every DC comic book in my store is
Yeah, I
50
know.
cents off.
You know, these comic book store
Except-
owners are not the best business people.
Except the Batman issue, that
That's probably
92, because
That's
it's
why
worth
they have a
because it's worth
comic
money.
store.
But everything else is 50 cents.
Punchline, that's it.
Oh, Punchline, the introduction of her or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why it's so much.
Well, and I heard something else too. That
Joker's new girlfriend.
they
or whatever
actually,
the fuck it
like-
is. Okay.
there was a misprint or something, or they had to destroy a bunch of copies, or something happened where they shipped them and they had to destroy them or
I don't
something.
know. They ship a bunch of Diamond, and Diamond has to like pulp them or something. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Also,
It's late.
DC, I sell all the stuff that I paid $2 for. I sell it for 50 cents.
Just be mad at
Just to be mad at DC.
Yeah, some of the comic retailers from that DC, so they're doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, well, I read something. I had seen that
Really,
being
dude?
posted, a little bit where they were all kind of peeved off, and
Yeah,
it was like
well,
a
that's why.
boycotting DC or something. And
I'm not going to order my
Mile
comic
High
books from
Comics had
another
a
comic book
DC
store.
sucks code word sale.
really,
I'm not going to order my comics from another comic book store. Screw DC.
All right, so don't get any DC. Let me know how that works out for your clientele who wants their damn Batman 92.
exactly.
Apparently, they haven't met any comic book.
I'm
Collectors.
tired.
All right.
I gotta
Thanks
get
for
up
listening,
early.
everybody. We're gonna head out.
Bye. Thanks
Bye.
for listening.
Bye.